On day 1, I spawned into the Sika Woods as an adorable little fire rabbit. I may just be a wascally wabbit, but if you mess with me, that doesn't mean you won't get burned. I decided to hop through the woods and explore, hoping I wouldn't accidentally set anything on fire with my burning bunny body. At least I know I'll never get cold. I wanted to stay optimistic, but it got a lot harder when a big, scary bug came crawling out of the forest behind me. It was a Myrmex soldier.
Halt! By order of Her Majesty, the Myrmex Queen. What is your business here?
Don't worry, sir. I was just looking around. I spawned nearby. I can just leave if you want.
Not so fast. We've been told to keep a lookout for suspicious rabbits, and you're both suspicious and a rabbit. Come with me.
But what if I don't want to come with you?
Then I'll just have to take you by force.
I didn't like the idea of being taken by force, so I turned and hopped away as quickly as I could. I may have not had any weapons, but at least I was extremely fast. I'm just a baby fire rabbit for now, with only 10 hearts, but if I can get away from these creepy crawlies, I'll be able to get bigger and stronger. But my little self-pep talk was interrupted by another Myrmex soldier popping out from behind a tree and stopping me in my tracks.
Don't you know it's rabbit season, silly bunny? Us Myrmex soldiers are everywhere in the Sika Woods. You better come with me, or someone, somewhere, is going to enjoy a bowl of rabbit soup tonight.
That was clearly a threat, so I decided to play along and follow him so I could save my fire rabbit skin. On day 2, the Myrmex soldier pushed me all the way to a weird, bee-like looking hive base on the edge of the woods. Not the kind of place where I'd typically like to spend my day. What is this place?
This is the hive, you misbehaving little rabbit. This is where me and my fellow Myrmexes live with our wonderful queen. She's currently in a different biome on royal business, but when she returns, she'll question you personally.
How long will that take, though?
It will take as long as it takes. Do not question the judgment of our beloved queen.
He didn't talk to me much after that. I was taken to some kind of holding cell in the hive and pushed inside to wait for the return of the queen. But she could be gone for weeks. I don't want to be trapped in here for all that time.
You're telling me?
I turned and saw a pink pixie fluttering around the cell, looking bored.
I'm Paris, the pink pixie. I feel like I've been trapped in here forever. I was just flying through the Sika Woods, minding my own business, when those Myrmex goons grabbed me and dragged me in here for being suspicious.
Sorry for making assumptions here, but can't you use your pink pixie magic to get us out of here?
Nope. These walls are magic-proof.
But are they fireproof? I walked closer to the wooden fence gates until they caught fire and the blocks started breaking. Soon enough, we were free. As we escaped, a Myrmex soldier almost caught us, but we managed to get out of there.
Thank you for freeing me, Zozo. I'm going to go see my family. They're probably worried about me, but I hope we meet again someday.
I hope that too, Paris. Safe travels. Paris left, and I decided to get out of the Sika Woods before more Myrmexes were sent after me. On day 3, I found my way into the meadow, where I figured that no Myrmex soldier could ever find me. Man, escaping that hive was hungry work though. I wonder if there's some food around here that's perfect for a little fire rabbit like me. Not long after, I found a patch of carrots. Perfect! I dug them up and ate them, feeling my hunger bar replenish. It made me feel a whole lot better. Until another, bigger rabbit hopped over to me, and he didn't seem pleased.
Hey, those are my carrots you just ate. They were prized, award-winning, and you just ate them without even asking me. Do you have any idea how messed up that is?
Oh no, I'm so sorry. I didn't know they were yours. I never would have eaten them if I did.
You think that makes me feel better? I'm still down a bunch of carrots. We rabbits should stick together, not steal from each other.
Is there any way I could make it up to you in the name of rabbit solidarity?
Well, there are a few favors you could do for me. Follow me. I'll figure out a way for you to pay off your debts.
Thank you so much for your forgiveness. I'm Zozo, by the way.
I'm KR. Let's go.
And I followed KR, eager to get back into his good graces. From day 4 to day 5, KR escorted me back to his base in the meadow. He must have been pretty brave to live out here in the middle of nowhere.
This is my place. Don't tell anyone about this place under any circumstances.
Why?
Because I like my privacy. Don't ask too many questions. It's not a likable quality.
Inside the base, he explained to me exactly how I could repay him for eating his special carrots.
As you know, the world is hard for little rabbits like us. People think they can pick on us, look down on us, and I've seen too much of that throughout my life. I've kept a list of the kind of people who have made my life harder over the years. Rabbit haters, you know. Help me get through my list, and not only will you be happier, you'll have repaid your debt.
That sounds like something I could do. Where should I start, KR?
You can start by getting out of here and making your own base. It'd be dangerous for us to be seen together. Take this stone sword and stone pickaxe and make something of yourself before you come back to me.
He gave me the tools, and I got out of there. The meadow gave me the creeps, so I decided I'd set up my base in the ebony woods instead. I used the pickaxe to mine some stone. I made myself an axe and cut down some trees for wood. I found a nice clearing in the forest and built myself a basic base where I could at least sleep with a roof over my head for the night. But when I was done building, I got my first unwelcome visitor, one of the Myrmex soldiers who had captured me earlier.
There you are! I knew you were the killer rabbit, and now I'm gonna put you down.
Killer rabbit? What? That's not me.
I'm not gonna listen to your lies. Time to battle, you bad bunny.
He seemed strong, and as I was, I felt like I couldn't beat him. I summoned up my strength and leveled up. I got bigger, stronger. I now had 20 hearts and a new ability, the Fireball attack. And with one blast of that fireball, the Myrmex soldier was gone. I really am living up to the Fire Rabbit name. From day 6 to day 8, I was exploring the Ebony Woods a little further. It was a strange and magical place, made even more magical by a sudden reappearance, Paris, the pink pixie. I immediately hopped over to meet her. Hey, Paris, is everything okay?
I wish I could say it was Zozo, but no, something terrible happened. I went to see my family, but they were all gone, and their home was destroyed. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Oh, Paris, that's terrible. Do you want to stay at my base? I can help you in your time of need.
Thank you, Zozo, but right now, I need to be alone. We'll speak again soon. Be safe out there.
Paris the pink pixie left. I felt terrible for her and started to wonder if maybe the ones who'd destroyed Paris's family were the same ones that KR warned me about. Maybe it was time to begin my quest. I returned to KR's base in the meadow and asked him what I should do first to complete my mission.
Your first target is the hairy troll further into the meadow. He's a violent, dangerous individual, so you should take him out with extreme prejudice.
Do you think he could have been behind the destruction of the pink pixie family?
What? How do you know about that?
I know the survivor.
There's a strong possibility. But don't ask him about it when you meet him. Just destroy him. He'll try to deceive you.
From day 9 to day 10, I followed KR's instructions and went further out into the meadow. Wow, this is vast and empty. But I pressed on. I needed to avenge Paris and repay my carrot debt to KR. There was no backing out now. Suddenly, the hairy troll jumped out and ambushed me, ready to attack.
I knew he'd send someone after me. Of course he'd be too cowardly to go after me himself. Pathetic.
Cowardly? No. What's cowardly is destroying a whole family of pink pixies rather than picking on someone your own size. I'm just doing a favor for a friend.
You have terrible taste in friends. I've never hurt any pink pixies.
He told me you'd lie. Let's battle. The hairy troll was a tough enemy, but with my sword and fireballs, I was able to defeat him in the end. Shortly after his defeat, a wolf woman came out of the forest.
Wow, you really fried that troll. I had no idea anyone could do those awesome fire tricks.
Thanks. I don't like hurting people, but I needed to stop him from ever hurting anyone, like he hurt the pink pixie family.
Oh, the pink pixie family. I heard about that. It was terrible. But I don't think a troll was behind that. It was some kind of other creature.
So the attacker is still at large? Oh no, I need to speak to KR about this. From day 11 to day 12, I returned to KR's base, telling him that I'd defeated the hairy troll, but that the one who'd attacked the pink pixie family was still out there somewhere.
If the hairy troll wasn't behind it, then it must be the thorn wolf, a truly dangerous and evil creature that lives deep in the ebony woods. It wouldn't surprise me at all if the thorn wolf was behind the pink pixie family attack.
Thorn wolf? Even the name sounds scary.
It's definitely a scary creature. I recommend getting better weapons and tools before you go to destroy it. Otherwise, you may find yourself at a disadvantage.
Good idea, KR. I'll get right on it. I found my way to a cave in the meadow and explored until I found some iron ore veins inside. I used some of my spare stone to make a furnace, then mined the iron ore and smelted it into ingots. Now time to do some crafting. I created an iron sword and an iron pickaxe, an iron chestplate, and then left the cave, where I ran into a creeper spider. Oh no! Rather than engaging, I ran away as quickly as I could. The creeper spider exploded behind me, leaving a huge crater in the ground. From day 13 to day 15, I ventured further into the ebony woods than I ever had before, my little fire rabbit heart filled with fear. If the thorn wolf really was as powerful and as dangerous as KR told me, then I could be in real danger even being around here. As I was exploring, I heard a sound behind me, so I turned and saw the thorn wolf. He was right there, and I was totally surprised. I braced myself for an attack, but he didn't attack. Instead, he spoke with a kindly voice.
Is everything okay, young rabbit? You seem nervous.
Are you the thorn wolf?
Oh, yes. It is my duty to patrol the ebony woods and protect the creatures there.
So you're not a bad guy?
Well, we always try our best, don't we? Stay safe out there, little rabbit.
The thorn wolf left, and I was confused. He was nothing like KR told me. Something really wasn't right here, and I needed to speak to KR immediately. From day 16 to day 19, I returned to the meadow to find KR's base, but it was empty, and KR was nowhere to be seen. This is strange. Maybe he's just out there running some errands. I returned to my base, only to find that Paris the pink pixie was there waiting for me. This couldn't have been a good sign. I knew that much. What's wrong, Paris?
Zozo, it's an emergency. I know who destroyed my family.
Who?
It was a creature they call the killer rabbit. It's one of the most dangerous things in the overworld.
Killer rabbit? KR. Oh no! And just like that, it all came together. KR was the killer rabbit, and he was behind everything. That meant I needed to get back to the thorn wolf as quickly as possible. He was in terrible danger. And I was right, and I didn't realize it soon enough. When I was there, Thorn Wolf was already gone, and only the killer rabbit remained.
I wondered how long it'd take you to figure it out. Oh well, you were at least a good tool for a while, even if you're useless to me now.
I don't get it. Why were you using me like that?
I needed a fall rabbit, someone to take the heat for me. And who's better at taking heat than a fire rabbit? Besides, you really did eat my carrots, and I couldn't let that fly, could I?
You may have used me, killer rabbit, but now I'm gonna take you down. I fired a fireball at him, and it seemingly had no effect. And when he hit me, it was like being hit by a train. Everything went dark, and I was gone. From day 20 to day 22, I woke up, and the killer rabbit was gone. Instead, a mysterious figure was standing next to me, a large hippogriff.
Do you work for or with the killer rabbit? Answer quickly.
No, I only ever worked with him when he was tricking me. Now I know who he truly is. I'm 100% against him.
Good, then we have a common enemy. I am Laharl the Hippogriff, and I was a friend of the Thorn Wolf. We were defenders of the people, guardians of the forest. But now he's gone, and only I remain.
You're not alone. I want to be better. I'm Zozo. Let me become a guardian of the forest too. We're going to defeat the killer rabbit together. Come to my base with me, and we'll start to plan.
Agreed. We will defeat that monstrous creature and keep the people of the forest safe forevermore.
I went into the forest with a Laharl, and we gathered enough stone and wood to construct a new house for him to stay in. Together, we'd be stronger than we'd ever been before. From day 23 to day 26, I was hopping back through the Sika Woods where I first spawned when I saw the pink glow of Paris the Pixie. Predictably, Paris the Pixie was in peril perpetuated by a pestering pursuer. Excuse me, so much alliteration.
Zozo, is that you? Help! This wind serpent is trying to blow me away!
The wind serpent did indeed look fierce, but even a gust of wind will only fan the flames of this fire rabbit. I hopped forward and hit the wind serpent with a fireball. The slithering mob stopped chasing Paris and started to fly towards me. We battled it out in melee, and I was able to bring it down with my sword.
Somehow I knew I could count on you, Zozo.
I'm just glad you still trust me. I attacked all the wrong people because of KR, and I let that menace run free all the while. That killer rabbit gives our kind a bad name.
You weren't the only one fooled by his goody-good act. Don't worry, Zozo. I know that you're out here trying to do the right thing.
Doing the best that I can, and I'll work with anyone else who is willing to help me take that lying killer down.
Count me in. My family got hurt because of his wicked ways. He won't be getting away with that.
Thanks, Paris. From day 27 to day 31, I found a flock of sheep wandering through the woods. They looked really tired, like they had been walking for several days. I hopped over to see what was going on and soon found out what had happened. These sheep were friends of the thorn wolf from the ebony woods, and since he was gone, they'd been looking for a new protector to save them from the killer rabbit. You'll be safe at my base, sheep. Not only is it back where you used to live, but I'll be your protector now. When I got back to my base in the ebony woods, I helped the sheep settle in and then went to go see how Laharl was holding up.
Welcome back, Zozo. I made the base cooler by adding some red banners.
Wow, awesome work, Laharl. All the buildings of the base now had awesome rabbit banners on them, which suited me just fine. Meanwhile, over at the real killer rabbit's base, not the pretend base over in the meadow, he was now in the process of maniacally planning his next wicked plot from his evil lair.
Now, there may be a few people around who know that I'm the killer rabbit, but I think we can arrange some accidents for those individuals. What say you, my fine warden dragon friend?
If there's anyone who is good at causing accidents, it's me. They might as well call me Daisy. First name Oopsie, full name Oopsie Daisy. You just had an accident of the "you're not gonna be around anymore" kind.
We're really gonna need to work on your threatening lines there, Oopsie.
It's difficult. My evil boss is a rabbit. Sorry, boss.
You better wise up. I'm not just any rabbit. I'm a killer rabbit.
From day 32 to day 35, I remembered that one of the Myrmex soldiers that I had encountered said that they had been looking for suspicious rabbits. So I made the choice to go and seek out the hive of the Myrmex queen. It might be a rabbit, but I know what suspicious one they might be looking for. If I tell them who the killer rabbit is, maybe all the other rabbits will stop being captured like I was. I made it to the hive and found that it was guarded by Myrmex soldiers. I guess I should have expected that.
Halt and stay halted.
I'm not halting. I'm here to see the queen.
Like we'd fall for that one, rabbit.
The Myrmex soldier tried to fight me, but I dodged his attacks. I didn't want to hurt anybody while I was trying to make an alliance, so I shot a fireball away from them to let them know who I was. Look, I'm not the rabbit you're looking for. I've got fire powers.
Fire powers? But that means you're the one who broke out of the cell.
That is true, but only because I shouldn't have been there in the first place. I know which rabbit really did the crimes, so he should be the one who does the time.
Okay, we still have questions, but that rhyme convinced us to take you to the queen.
Yes, don't be mean. Let me see the queen.
You can stop rhyming now.
The Myrmex soldiers let me inside of the hive so that I could have my important meeting with the Myrmex queen. Naturally, the room where I was able to speak with the queen was her own throne room.
I am the Myrmex Queen. What is your request to my majesty, small rabbit?
It concerns the fate of all the land, your Myrmex queenliness. I know who the killer rabbit is.
You do? Oh, at long last, that monster has been found. How do you know about him?
He went by the name KR, and now he's on a new spree of attacks on innocent creatures all throughout the biomes.
He always was like that, even in my mother's time. She was the Myrmex Queen before me, and when the creatures of the woods started being attacked, she suspected everyone but the innocent-looking rabbit. It was her mistake, because the killer rabbit claimed her as another one of his victims. I had to take over the throne, just as my mother's killer went into hiding. I've been hunting him down ever since.
It's such a sad story. I promise to help you bring the killer rabbit to justice with all the fire in my heart.
There is more, but it's far too painful to talk about. You should go home for now. I will send a soldier to visit once I've emotionally prepared myself.
From day 36 to day 39, I got ready to take my armor up a notch in defense by preparing to go back into the cave for some more iron ore. The killer rabbit was a lot older and more experienced than me, so I had to be all the more prepared for our eventual showdown. I soon found a spot in the cave where iron was abundant and mined away, adding the iron ore to my inventory. Next, I got out my crafting table and smelted the iron ore into the iron ingots I would need to craft the rest of my armor. That should do it. Alright, time to become an iron fire rabbit. I made myself an iron axe since I had been gathering so much wood lately, and an iron helmet, iron leggings, and a pair of iron boots to complete my full set of iron armor. You can't see it on my fur, but believe me, it's there. Now equipped with all this brand new iron gear, I ventured deeper in the cave and found that beneath the iron, there were a few diamonds to be mined. I made sure to get them before I left. Later on, I was back above ground when I got an unexpected visitor. He was half rabbit and half wolf, a rabbit wolf.
Hi there. Bet you never met nobody like me before.
Hey, you're right.
Anyway, the Myrmex Queen said I could leave the dungeon cell at the hive if I went and brought you back to her.
Let me guess, her soldiers locked you up because you were a suspicious rabbit?
Well, yeah, I mean, look at me. I'm such a suspicious rabbit. It's hard to know if I'm even a rabbit. Anyway, you should go meet the Mermex Queen over in the Ebony Woods.
From day 40 to day 43, I went to meet the Mermex Queen over in the Ebony Woods. Your queenliness, I am excited to work together and solve these crimes.
I knew the rabbit wolf wouldn't fail to bring you here. If you ever see him again, make sure to thank him for me.
I certainly will. So, are you ready to tell me more about the killer rabbit and his previous rampage?
Yes, it's time you knew everything about what happened with him.
Even though we had met in a secret location and were trying to keep our conversation quiet, Oopsie Daisy the Warden Dragon had super powerful hearing and was able to pick up on our voices from another part of the woods.
Oopsie daisy, time for an accident to happen. On purpose.
He barged into the clearing and fired a sonic laser blast at me, which did many hearts of damage. Hey, what's the big idea?
Nothing. I just happened to be totally unintentionally getting rid of two people who know who the killer rabbit is. By accident.
Aha! Now I know who you work for. You just said it was the killer rabbit.
Ah, darn it. I actually didn't mean to do that. Oh well, I'll just make you disappear. Then nobody will know.
He fired another sonic blast my way, which I almost avoided. I countered with a fireball that didn't seem to do much. I looked around for the Mermex Queen and saw that she had escaped while I had been talking to the Warden Dragon. Yeah, I should probably do the same thing. I ran off into the woods, trying to go a different direction so that the Warden Dragon wouldn't know who to follow. From day 44 to day 49, I had gotten away from the Warden Dragon and safely arrived back at my base. I never expected the Mermex Queen to be there as well, waiting to continue our conversation from where we left off. I was happy to see that she was okay and could fend for herself, even without her soldiers. I guess the killer rabbit knows we both know about him. That's why he sent that Warden Dragon to destroy us.
Perhaps he needs to rely on his henchmen now, because he isn't as strong as he used to be.
You mean that he used to be stronger? He totally demolished me the last time we fought.
Well, he still is the killer rabbit, but he used to carry around a secret rare battle axe that made it really easy for him to make anyone he wanted disappear forever.
He was a killer rabbit with a killer battle axe? That's so scary. How did you stop him?
I didn't. A mysterious mob known as a Crimson Phantom laid a curse upon the battle axe so that the killer rabbit could never use it again.
I know. Maybe if we find this battle axe, we could use it against him.
Didn't stop the killer rabbit from being evil, but it did weaken him.
Then I'm off to the meadow.
That's good thinking, Zozo. I heard that the battle axe was crafted deep down in the depths of the meadow. You can find some clues about it there.
From day 50 to day 53, I delved all the way to the end of the meadow in order to find out more information about who crafted the battle axe that the killer rabbit used in his previous reign of terror. After a lot of searching, I came across an abandoned workshop that looked like it was once used for smithing weapons. This must be the place, I reckon. I found a book near the crafting table that was titled Axe Maker's Notes and opened it up to read the words inside. I have made a lot of axes out of a lot of different materials in my day, and boy do I love doing it. It's my favorite thing to do in the whole wide world. In fact, it's the only thing I do. I'm the axe maker after all. But this latest axe, it's not like the other ones. It's got an evil aura around it, like it's too sharp and too scary just to be used on trees. This axe seems like it could kill someone. It's a killer axe. I better get rid of it before someone uses it for evil. Oh wait, what's that? Someone is coming. The sentence in the book ended there, and the rest of the pages were blank. Oh no, the killer rabbit must have snuck up behind the axe maker and gotten rid of him so he could steal the killer axe. What a fiend! Still, from what I'd read, the battle axe was a powerful weapon. It must be able to hurt the killer rabbit if he was willing to do so much to get it. I looked around for more clues, but couldn't find any, so I gave up and started to head back to my base. From day 54 to day 57, I was making my way through the meadow when I happened to pass by the area where I had found those carrots before. Didn't the killer rabbit say that those carrots were his? If I know rabbits, and I probably do because I am one, then that could mean that the killer rabbit's base might be around here too. I was excited that I had discovered a clue, but that excitement was quickly lost when the Warden Dragon showed up to blast me with a sonic laser attack.
Oops, pardon me. That time I was trying to get rid of you, and I accidentally didn't do enough damage.
You did enough, actually. You don't have to do any more damage.
No, I think I do. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna do all the damage to you.
As much as I wanted to, I was still not strong enough to take down the warden dragon, so I made my escape as quickly as I could. Even though I didn't find it, I was right about the killer rabbit's base being nearby. The horrible hare was there right now, scheming up a storm.
Soon, yes, very soon, I will find a way to reverse the curse and take back my battle axe. All of them will pay then.
From day 58 to day 62, I had made it back to the base and saw that Laharl had created a storage room for all of our weapons. Great work, Laharl!
Thanks. I just figured since you were talking about a rare secret killer battle axe, I should make some room for it. One thing led to another, and now there's a whole room full of every other weapon we had.
There seems to be a lot of empty spaces. I guess I'll have to make us some more.
We could definitely use some diamond ones, since we don't have any yet.
Good point. I'll see if there are any more diamonds down in the mine. I went down to the mines, and it was just my luck. There were some more diamonds right in the same cavern where I had found the previous ones. I dug all around so that I could have enough for a diamond weapon to put in the weapon storage room. Once the diamonds were gathered, I chose to craft 2 diamond swords, one for myself and one for storage. I also crafted a diamond chestplate and a diamond pickaxe because diamonds make everything better. From day 63 to day 66, Laharl and I were hanging out in the base when our conversation suddenly turned serious.
When are we gonna do something about that killer rabbit, Zozo? He's starting to become a real problem for everyone.
I know, Laharl, but I can't even defeat the clumsy warden dragon he sent to make me disappear, much less the killer rabbit himself.
But if you had that secret rare killer battle axe, you might stand a chance.
But that's the trouble. I don't have that secret rare killer battle axe.
Not yet you don't, but I think I might know where it is.
Take me to it then. Don't you know how serious I am about wanting to stop the killer rabbit? Laharl listened to how serious I was and took me to the eroded Badlands where we found some cursed ruins. We walked up to them until we hit an invisible barrier. How did these ruins get so cursed?
A long time ago, the Crimson Phantom put a curse on these ruins that won't let anyone else enter.
The Crimson Phantom? Isn't that the same creature that cursed the battle axe?
Yes, but it looks like we need to get him to lift the curse before we can check to see if the battle axe is here.
From day 67 to day 70, the Mermex Queen came into the base and told me that she had also been searching for the Crimson Phantom.
He's been sighted in the Ebony Woods, but my gods weren't able to capture him. He's even taken a few down.
I didn't realize this Crimson Phantom was such a dangerous creature.
He sure is. I could really use your help bringing the Crimson Phantom in.
Then let's do it. You can count on me, your queenliness. We left my base and went through the woods to find the Crimson Phantom flying away after having just defeated one of the Mermex soldiers.
You'll never take me alive. I'm the dang old Crimson Phantom, you bunch of goofballs.
Knock it off, Crimson Phantom. We need your help.
Nah, who needs my help?
He attacked, so I had to blast him with fire. The Crimson Phantom was definitely strong based on the way he tanked my attack. So I whacked him a few times with my diamond sword. Please, don't fight. We just want to stop the killer rabbit, and we know that you do too. You put a curse on his battle axe so he couldn't hurt people with it.
So what if I did? It was probably the nicest thing I ever did for anyone.
It doesn't have to be if you help us again. Please, Crimson Phantom.
Ah, shucks. How can I say no to an innocent rabbit?
And just like that, I convinced the Crimson Phantom to help us retrieve the secret rare killer battle axe so we could defeat the killer rabbit. From day 71 to day 74, that pesky accident-prone warden dragon showed up at my base to try to get rid of me again.
Come on out and face me, Zozo. What's the worst that could happen? It will.
I hadn't gotten any stronger since we fought before, but my weapons and armor were a bit more durable, so I hopped out and decided to take him on. Take this, Daisy! Fireball! I circled around the warden dragon, shooting fireballs and trying to avoid his sonic blast. I wasn't fast enough, and my armor couldn't protect me. I took many hearts of damage. I got down to just half a heart. Oh no, is this how I'm gonna go out?
Apparently not, because instead of doing you in, I'm accidentally going to steal your best friend Laharl and completely not on purpose hold him hostage somewhere.
You monster! Why?
I don't know. I'm not sure why I do anything anymore, but I am evil.
The warden dragon dragged Laharl away, and there was nothing I could do about it because I was too weak. I can't do this! I'm just a rabbit! I went to the room to mope about it and close myself away from everyone else. I couldn't let them see me after such an embarrassing defeat. That was until the Crimson Phantom arrived.
Hey there, Zozo. Don't blame yourself for what happened. You'll get Laharl back.
You really think so, Crimson Phantom?
Of course I do. And once you do, you won't have to worry, because I've given your base some sweet defenses.
You wasn't kidding. The Crimson Phantom had made a wall around the base, which had a curse on it so it wouldn't allow any of my enemies to pass through. From day 75 to day 78, I learned more about the perimeter wall, like how it would only let people that I trusted into the base. The Myrmex Queen was definitely someone I knew I could trust. The perimeter wall let her right through. Greetings, your queenliness.
Zozo, there is one more thing I didn't tell you about the killer rabbit, but I'm going to tell you what that is now.
What is it, Myrmex Queen?
Your friend, Laharl, he kept this secret from you because he wanted to protect you. The truth is that the curses of the Crimson Phantom can be reversed by the feathers of a live hippogriff.
You mean that now the killer rabbit can…
Reverse the curse and reclaim his ultimate weapon, yes! You must go and rescue Laharl before the killer rabbit extracts his feathers.
I will. I think I know now where in the meadow his base is. The Myrmex Queen gave me some javelins to serve as a ranged weapon and wished me luck as I departed. From day 79 to day 84, I searched for the killer rabbit's base in the meadow. I knew that it had to be somewhere around where I had found that fateful carrot patch. Sure enough, Oopsie Daisy the Warden Dragon was wandering around in plain view of that area. He had taken Laharl captive earlier, and now he was going to tell me where he was. Hey you, give me back my friend.
Oops, you aren't supposed to find me.
Well, now I have, and I'm gonna scorch you. I rained fireballs and javelins down on him from a distance, but it still wasn't enough, and his sonic blast still hurt quite a bit.
What was I worried about? It's not like you could defeat me even if I accidentally let you.
I was beginning to think I was done for, and then Laharl swooped down from above and attacked the Warden Dragon while his sonic blasts were focused on me.
Oh no, I should have seen that coming, but I accidentally did not.
Laharl's attacks did enough damage to bring the Warden Dragon down and defeat him for good. After the Warden Dragon was defeated, I approached Laharl. Laharl, you're free.
I sure am, Zozo. That Warden Dragon accidentally let me go before we even got to the lair of the killer rabbit. I've just been down here in the meadow, trying not to get caught again.
At any rate, I'm glad you managed to get away. I was worried about you.
I found something else while I was down here. A golden apple that is said to imbue the one who eats it with true strength, as long as they are pure of heart. It's yours now, Zozo.
Gee, thanks. I'm starving. I ate the golden apple and could feel myself transform. I must have been pure of heart because I grew into a supersized fire rabbit and had a grand total of 60 hearts. My jump was given a big boost too, allowing me to reach higher heights than ever before. From day 85 to day 89, Laharl and I went back to the base where things were once again becoming super ultra serious all of a sudden.
Zozo, it is time. I'm gonna take you back to the eroded Badlands so we can get that battle axe.
But how are we going to bypass the curse? Oh wait, aren't your feathers the way to do it?
Yes, my feathers can make a magic key that will let you get through. I held off on telling you until I was sure that you were pure of heart. But now that I know you are, and that you won't become another killer rabbit once you get the battle axe, I can give you the key.
Laharl gave me a bunch of his hippogriff feathers, and I crafted them into a key.
Use the key at the ruin. It'll be like I am with you.
I did as my good friend Laharl said, and traveled back to the cursed ruins in the eroded Badlands. With the magic key, I was able to bypass the curse and enter the ruins. Inside, I found the battle axe, lying in wait for me to claim it. I'm gonna put the magic key that Laharl made away. It'd be pretty silly if I accidentally reversed the curse and made it so that the killer rabbit could use the killer axe. After I had safely stowed the key, I took the secret rare battle axe from its place and left the ruins. From day 90 to day 94, I stepped out of the ruins and found the killer rabbit standing out there to confront me in the eroded Badlands.
How do you do, fellow rabbit?
It's over, KR. I have the battle axe now, and you'll never break the curse on it.
That's the thing about you, Zozo. You always think you understand everything. That's why it's so easy to trick you.
Nuh-uh. This time I do understand everything. I understand that you are a ruthless monster who must be stopped before he hurts anyone else.
But think of what we could accomplish if you joined me. Nobody would disrespect us bunnies anymore. We would be the top of the woods.
I'll never join you, killer rabbit.
Suit yourself. By the way, I accidentally picked up some feathers that your hippogriff friend Laharl dropped down in the meadow.
That's not good. The killer rabbit leaped forth and wrestled with me for the axe. I was a strong rabbit, but he was still stronger. And before I could stop him, he reversed the curse on the axe and took it back. No, you tricked me. I thought I understood, but I didn't.
You're too naive. Now wallow here in this sand pit.
He jumped on the sand I was sitting on, and the impact of his landing made the sand collapse, so I fell into a deep hole. From day 95 to day 97, I used my boosted jumps to slowly but surely make my way back up to the surface of the eroded Badlands. There was no time to lose. Now that the killer rabbit had the super secret rare killer battle axe, he was going to go on his biggest spree of attacks yet. And I know who he's gonna go after first. I rushed back to the Sika Woods and entered the hive of the Mermex Queen. Her soldiers were destroyed, and that wasn't even the worst part. In her throne room, the Mermex Queen was dying after having just been attacked by the killer rabbit and his killer axe. No, your queenliness!
Zozo, so you made it.
I'm so sorry. I tried to stop him, but he tricked me once again. And now he's wiped out your entire hive.
Do not worry. As long as there is a Mermex Queen, the hive will be able to replenish itself. What you must do now is get the battle axe away from him at all costs.
I'll do it. Even if I have to risk everything, I will do it.
In a few days, my final egg will hatch and become the new queen. You need to protect her for me.
I will, your queenliness. She passed on, leaving me behind in a world that I must save. On day 98, I returned to my base in the Ebony Woods and found that the perimeter wall and the rest of the base was destroyed. Laharl was there, but nobody else had survived the attack.
He came for the Crimson Phantom, Zozo, to make sure that he was never cursed again. Now the battle axe is his forever.
Don't say that, Laharl. I know that you and I get serious sometimes, but we always keep on trying to make things better.
The only reason he left me alive is in case anyone else cursed the axe, so that I could reverse it.
So that killer rabbit only spared you for his own reasons. That makes me so mad.
He'll probably fool you again if you give in to your emotions.
Well, my emotions are pure right now, and every spark of fire in my being demands justice.
Then what the heck? Go get that battle axe. You're strong enough now. I can feel it.
Laharl cheered me on as I marched off through the woods. On day 99, I arrived in the meadow with a burning passion in my heart. I was ready to take down that killer rabbit with all my strength and all of my fire. Once I was inside his base, I came face to face with my nemesis once more.
You never learn, do you, Zozo? Like fire, you think you're bright, but when it rains, you go out.
The only reign I see now is your reign of terror, and it ends here.
A clever use of two words that sound alike, but you've forgotten already that I have the killer axe.
Actually, it is you who has forgotten. That battle axe was accidentally forged to be evil, but it was touched by a hero who was pure of heart. I jumped at him, and once more, we wrestled with the axe. This time, I managed to get it away from him and ran out of his base. The secret to the battle axe that I was finally able to understand was that it was cursed twice. Once I was back home, I used some more of Laharl's feathers I found in his base to undo the first curse that happened when it was made, turning it into a weapon of pure goodness and justice. Now, no evildoer could ever wield it. Only I could wield the battle axe. On day 100, I returned to the meadow with the new and improved super justified hero axe and faced off against the killer rabbit.
Why did you come back? I might have let you live for a while.
I had to. There's a whole world out there that needs to be protected from rotten rabbits like you. There is a young Mermex Queen who will hatch today. There is a hippogriff who is my best friend. For them, for everyone, my fires of good will burn out your evil. The killer rabbit hopped at me, but with the battle axe in my hand, my attacks were strong enough to take his hearts away.
Curse you, Zozo!
Haven't you got it yet? I can't be cursed. I blasted him with fireball after fireball, and then swung the battle axe down on him, ending the fight. There is a new rabbit in this land, and he's a protector rabbit.
On day 1, I spawned in as a rabbit. Oh no, I only have 1 heart. I'm gonna have to be really careful if I'm gonna survive. But check it out, I can jump high and I'm super fast. I took a look around and I could see there were tons of other bunny friends around. But suddenly, they all ran away. Hey guys, what's going on? Just then, a fox appeared. That must be why the other bunnies ran away. I had to be careful. If that fox landed just 1 hit on me, I was done for. Luckily, I was able to run really fast and jump super high, so I was able to outrun the fox and get away. The best thing I can do today is just survive. I better find a good place to hide for the night. I took a look around until I found a good spot. I dug into the side of the hill and hunkered down for the night. Maybe I can find all of my bunny friends in the morning. On day 2, I woke up and went to go look for my bunny friends. As I arrived back at the spawn point, I didn't see anyone around. Where could everyone have run off to? I wasn't sure where to start looking for them, but I had an idea. Maybe if I can build a really cool bunny house, they'll come back. If I was gonna build a cool bunny house, I needed some tools, so I headed off into the forest to get some supplies. After a while, I had gathered enough supplies to be able to build my first tools. I put as many tools together as I could, including a sword. With my new tools in hand, I headed into the mine to get some stone. As I was mining, I was suddenly attacked by a spider. Whoa, get back! I had to be really careful. If I took even one hit, I was done for. It's a good thing I had made myself a sword though, because with that, I was able to defeat him. Oh man, that was too close. I better get to work. On day 3, I got to work starting to build my new base. Since rabbits live underground, I thought it'd be cool to build out a bunch of tunnels underground. It was a lot of hard work, but soon the base was all set up. Alright, the base is done, but I don't see any more bunnies. I better go look for them. I headed off into the forest, but I could hear someone up ahead. On top of a tree, I could see a little squirrel. Hey, what's going on? What are you doing up there?
I'm up here hiding from the big bad wolf. You better watch out too.
The big bad wolf? Oh man, he sounds like a lot of trouble. How about we stick together? It'll be safer.
I think that's a great idea.
On days 4 to 5, the squirrel and I headed into the forest to get some more materials. As we explored the forest, we came across some more friends. The first animal we saw was a raccoon. Hey, have you heard of the big bad wolf?
Yeah, that guy's a real jerk, but he's been leaving me alone for the most part. I don't know if I want to get involved. Sorry.
Well, I hope you change your mind. The squirrel and I kept going through the forest until we came across a bear and her cubs. Uh-oh, I hope that bear won't eat us. I took a deep breath and walked up to the bear. Hey, do you know the big bad wolf?
Yeah, but why would I care about that guy? He doesn't bug me and I don't bug him. Say, you're looking a little tasty.
Okay, well, thanks for telling me about it. Talk to you later. Bye. The squirrel and I got out of there. I didn't want to risk anything else wanting to hunt me. As we got deeper into the forest, we started to chop down some trees.
Hey you!
I turned around and looked up into the tree. A monkey was looking down at me. Yeah, what's up?
That's my tree. What do you think you're doing, chopping down my tree?
The monkey was mad, but I only needed a little bit of wood. It didn't matter to him though, and he jumped down and charged.
You're gonna pay for this.
Uh-oh, if this monkey hit me, I was a goner. But just then, the squirrel jumped in and helped me out. Together, we were able to put up a good fight. The monkey wasn't gonna be able to hurt both of us. By working together, we were able to defeat him. Sorry, Mr. Monkey, I didn't want to fight you, but you left me with no choice. On day 6 through 8, the squirrel and I continued through the forest. We were feeling pretty good about ourselves. We had had a couple of victories, and we were getting a lot of supplies. We'd even met a few of the other animals. As I kept wandering through the forest, though, I heard something scary up ahead. As we got closer, we saw the source of the noise. It was the fox, and he had a group of bunnies cornered.
You have nowhere to run, and now I'm going to eat you.
Oh no, I can't let him eat those other bunnies. But what am I supposed to do? I can't take him on by myself. That's when I remembered I wasn't by myself. I had my squirrel friend with me. Let's do this! The squirrel just started to charge. He didn't even wait for me. Wait, what are you doing?
Oh, a little appetizer.
The fox took one swing, and the squirrel was immediately defeated. Oh no, my friend!
Looks like there's another snack over there for me too.
The fox took one look at me, but I had to get out of there. I'm not gonna be his dinner today. I'm sorry, other bunnies, but you're on your own for this one. I ran as fast as I could, straight back to my burrow. I couldn't risk having him find out where I lived, or worse, eating me. I was just gonna have to help those other bunnies out another day. I feel bad about leaving all those bunnies behind, but what was I gonna do? I'm just not strong enough. On days 9 to 11, I was feeling bad about running away, but I wasn't strong enough to fight. As I ran through the forest, I came across an abandoned village. Oh look, a ton of carrots. I gathered up as many carrots as I could. There was even a bunch of wheat and pumpkins too. I decided this would be a good place to spend the night. In the middle of the night, I woke up to a strange sound outside. Oh no, there's a bunch of skeletons out there. I ran out of the house with my sword in hand. There was no way I was going to back down this time. I charged out of the house, swinging my sword. I'm not scared of you. I kept swinging until one by one, all of the skeletons were destroyed. Man, these fights are terrifying when you only have one heart, but I feel better now that I've won a fight. Even though I had won the fight, I was too scared to go back to bed, so I decided to spend the night looking through the rest of the village. I found some more food, as well as some other supplies. I even found a whole stash of iron. Awesome, now I can start making some iron gear. I ran back over to the crafting table and put together an iron chest plate and equipped it. On day 12, I emerged from my house in the village and headed back into the forest. I was running through the woods when I saw a carrot on the ground up ahead. Oh, what luck, a free carrot. As I continued through the forest, I saw there were even more carrots. I decided to keep picking them up. I was going to need as many as I could get. Just then, I picked up one of the carrots and suddenly fell through a trapdoor. Whoa! I landed inside a small room and there were several other rabbits looking at me. Hi guys, what's going on?
You're not the big bad wolf.
I turned around and saw a large elderly bunny looking down at me. No sir, I'm not. What's going on around here?
I see you're new around here. Let me explain. For years, the forest was a beautiful and peaceful place.
peace. All the animals were happy, living in harmony. The wolf would try to hunt us, but we could always get away. Then one day, something changed. The wolf had discovered some kind of magic, which he used to give himself a cloaking ability. Suddenly, we could no longer hide because we didn't know when he would attack. We have been in hiding ever since.
No, how can we stop him?
There is an ancient relic known as the Rad Glasses, crafted by our bunny ancestors. Its pieces have been scattered across the land, but if you bring them to me, I can craft them anew. They will allow you to see the wolf, even when he cloaks. Do you think you can help us?
Not very strong, but I'll do my best. On days 13 to 15, I had arrived back at my base and made a couple improvements to the inside. Then I went outside and started working on a farm and planted some of the carrots I'd collected. It wasn't much, but it was a place to call home. I needed to get some sand though, so I headed off to the desert to gather some. I managed to get a bunch of it when suddenly a group of rattlesnakes came slithering up behind me. Hey guys, can I help you? The rattlesnakes just stared at me, then they attacked. Hey, that's not very nice. Luckily their bite wasn't too bad because I still only had a heart. I was able to keep moving and I took them all out. Suddenly I felt a burst of energy and I grew into a bigger killer bunny. And look, now I have 5 hearts. I'm feeling way better already. On day 16 to 19, I returned back to the base and made a few adjustments now that I had gotten a little bigger and stronger. Later, as I was harvesting some of my crops, I saw a squirrel walking up to the base.
Hey, I've been looking for you.
Hey there, what's up?
I saw you were with my sister when that fox attacked her. She seemed to trust you, so I want to help you too, for my sister.
I'll take all the help I can get, and I'm sorry for what happened. I'm much stronger now and won't be running away from anything. We then set off, making some more improvements to the base. It turned out the squirrel's name was Rocky, and he was happy to help. After we had finished upgrading parts of the base, he pulled me aside for a chat.
Thanks again for letting me help, Zozo. I had an idea for the base. I think we should build something that will make the other bunnies know that this is a safe place.
Oh, I know just what to make, but we're gonna need a lot of orange dye. We ran off into a flower field and got to work grabbing as many orange tulips as we could to make the dye. On days 20 to 22, we were heading back to our base when the fox popped out from around the corner.
Ah, the bunny that got away. I'm gonna get you this time.
You aren't hurting anyone this time. I jumped into battle and started swinging away at the fox. Rocky jumped into the fight too. With my new strength, the fox didn't stand a chance. We beat him easily. Nice going, Rocky. How did he find our base?
I don't know. The only thing I can think of is that he must have seen me and followed me here. Sorry about that.
That's okay. But it reminds me, we need to start looking for the parts to those special glasses. Do you have any ideas of where we could look?
I've got one idea, but before we get there, we're gonna need some serious upgrades first.
On days 23 to 26, I was deep underground looking for resources. Luckily for me, I was able to find a bunch of iron, as well as some coal. This is just what I needed. Now I can finish making my iron armor. I took some of the stone I had collected and used it to craft a furnace. Then I added the coal and iron to smelt myself some iron bars. Once the iron bars were complete, I used them to craft myself iron tools, including an iron sword. Then I used the rest to finish crafting my iron armor. Now I'm really powered up. I decided to keep exploring the cave when I suddenly ran into a group of zombies. Try and fight me now, you flesh heads. The zombies could pack a punch, but they were no match for my new gear. I swung my sword and was able to take them out. I kept going down the tunnel when a spider dropped down from the ceiling. Oh, gross, spiders are disgusting. As the spider charged at me, I swung my sword. He managed to get a couple bites in, but he couldn't do much against my armor. Soon enough, it was defeated. I wonder what's going to be at the end of the tunnel. Up ahead, I could see something glowing in the distance. What could it be? I walked into a large open room and subscribe? Hey, it's not a bad idea. If you love going on these adventures as much as I do, I'd love for you to hit the button and the bell. That way, you'll never miss out. On days 27 to 31, Rocky and I headed into the woods to look for the first crafting item we'd need for the glasses. I could hear a noise up ahead when suddenly a wolf hopped up on some stone blocks, blocking our path.
Ooh, a delicious bunny. The big bad wolf isn't going to mind if I eat you myself.
Go on and hide, Rocky. I can take this guy. The wolf and I charged at each other. He was pretty strong, but so was I. He snarled and bit, getting some hits in. He even got me down to half a heart. But I knew I could win. Your bark is worse than your bite. I gave one more swing and took him out. As he disappeared, I saw he dropped some kind of special item. What's this? I picked it up and saw it was a fire rod. Oh, cool. I wonder what this will do. Later on, I was walking along the water when a crocodile popped out and attacked me. I swung my fire rod, immediately catching him on fire. Whoa, nothing like a well-roasted croc for dinner. The crocodile panicked and jumped back into the water. Yeah, you'll think twice about messing with me next time. On days 32 to 35, Rocky and I arrived in the Badlands. Rocky had told me he had seen something strange in the area and thought it would be worth checking it out. As we rounded the corner, I saw a weird sign. Let the water lift you up. What does that mean? There was a nearby lever, so I gave it a flick and nothing happened.
What happens when you jump in the water?
Rocky jumped into the water, but there was no effect. I don't think that's it. Let's try hitting pressing one of these buttons. Rocky clicked on one of the buttons on the wall, and an arrow came flying out right over Rocky's head. Whoa, I don't think that's it. I guess I'll give this other one a try. I nervously reached forward and hit the button, and some redstone dust popped out.
Look, you can put the dust here to complete the circuit.
I walked over by Rocky and put down the redstone dust. Then I flipped the switch. This time, a column of water came pouring down. That did the trick. I jumped into the column of water and swam to the very top. When I reached the top, there was a chest. Inside of the chest, there were some different brick blocks, as well as one glowstone. This isn't exactly what I was expecting.
Zozo, up here.
I followed Rocky up another flight of stairs and saw some glasses frames at the top. This is just what we were looking for. The first piece. The Elder Rabbit will be excited to see this. On days 36 to 39, Rocky and I returned back to the base. First things first, I needed to craft a new fence. I couldn't risk another attack by the big bad wolf gang, or worse, the wolf himself. By using some of the brick, I was able to make a nice perimeter fence. Once that was complete, Rocky and I worked together to make him his own place too. Thanks for all your help so far, Rocky. I think it'll be good for you to have your own place.
I'm happy to be here. Let's build a pen and get some sheep. That way we can work on the statue.
Good idea. Rocky and I headed into the forest and managed to find a herd of sheep. Using leads, we roped them up and led them back to their new pen. With the sheep all locked up, I then took some orange dye and got to work dyeing all of the sheep orange. Orange, you guys glad you're not dinner? I went ahead and sheared all of the sheep, then collected all of the orange dye. From there, Rocky and I headed off to find a good spot to build the statue. Once we found a suitable location, we got to work clearing a space, building up a base, then working on the statue itself. After a bit, the first part was complete. Nice job, Rocky. This is a good spot to stop. As we were taking down the scaffolding, a group of parrots walked up to us.
Hey, you're a bunny. You must be against the big bad wolf then.
You'd be correct. What's up?
We've been on the run ever since the wolf started cloaking. Nowhere feels safe.
I know what you mean, but there's safety in numbers. You guys should come join us at our base.
That's just what we need. We'll go gather our things and then we'll meet you there.
I told them where to go, and they headed off. Back at the base, Rocky and I got to work building them their own house to stay. I couldn't believe the wolf was even hunting birds. We'd do our best to keep them safe. I started days 40 to 43 by putting in some paths throughout the base. The next morning, I got to work harvesting the carrots and planting some pumpkins. Then I filled the rest of the spots with carrots. We've got a lot of new friends starting to show up. I've got to be sure everyone is well fed. Just then, the parrots walked up and I finally got to show them the place I had built for them. They were really excited to have a safe place to rest. After they took a look around, their leader came to talk to me.
You're looking for the parts of the rad glasses, right? The ones that let you see the invisible wolf?
I am. Do you know something about their parts?
Only rumors. I've really only heard about one of the parts, that is. But I don't know if you're gonna love where you have to go to find it.
I'll do whatever it takes. On days 44 to 49, I was getting ready to leave my base for the new location. I think it'll be better for you to stay here, Rocky. I don't know if this will be the best place for a squirrel. Rocky understood and agreed to work on the base while I was gone. After a long journey, I finally arrived in the area the parrot had told me about. Oh man, it's freezing here. No wonder the parrot said I wouldn't like it. Just then, I stumbled across an abandoned igloo. This will be a great place to stop and rest. As I left the igloo though, I was suddenly attacked by a snow leopard. Whoa, where did you come from? The snow leopard was vicious. He had giant fangs and powerful claws. He must have set this camp up as a trap. I'll never let the wolf and his allies win. I swung with all my power and took him out. It's a good thing I upgraded all my armor before I left. Otherwise, I'd be rabbit stew. On days 50 to 53, I had finally made it out of the cold and arrived at the place the parrot had mentioned. As I walked up to the tower, I saw there were two wolves standing guard. Hey, can I come in?
No.
Well, that was a short conversation. I don't know why I even bothered asking. They're wolves. Of course they'll just attack me. This wolf was just a junior guard, so I finished him off easily. You're not getting in my way either. I turned and attacked the other guard too, who didn't put up much of a fight, and I defeated him in no time. All right, let's get that glasses part. I climbed to the top of the tower, but there was another wolf waiting for me. This one was stronger than the others. By using my fire rod though, I managed to light him on fire and eventually take him out, nearly losing my life in the process.
Hey there, can you help me out?
I took out my axe and started chopping away at the nearby cage. There was no part for the glasses, but there was a bunny trapped inside.
Thanks for breaking me out. Let me guess, you were looking for a piece of the glasses.
Yeah, I was. Do you know anything about it?
I was here looking for it too, but I guess it got moved to a dungeon far away from here. That's what I heard the henchmen saying anyway.
Shoot, that is in the complete opposite direction. Well, might as well stop at my base in the meantime. Feel free to join me there. The rabbit agreed, and we headed off for the base. On days 54 to 57, the bunny and I arrived back at the base, which was on fire. Oh no, what's going on? As I got closer, I could see that the base was being attacked by a pack of wolves. Standing outside the base, I could see the big bad wolf. He was giving orders to his men. The wolf gang headed into the base and rounded up all the parrots. They were taking taking them prisoner. I don't have the glasses yet, but I have to do something. I sprinted into the base, sword in hand. The wolves attacked. Get out of my home. We never did anything to you. One by one, I cut down all the wolves. Soon enough, the only one left was Mr. Big Bad. You're gonna pay for this. I charged at the Big Bad Wolf, leaping into the air, when suddenly he disappeared. Oh, you coward. I'll find you. On days 58 to 62, I took a look around at all of the damage. I couldn't believe I didn't keep everyone safe. As I walked around, I could see that everyone was gone. That's when I heard a noise from under the table. Rocky, what are you doing under there?
Zozo, I was so scared, but this was all my fault. I told the wolves where the base was. He had captured my squirrel friend and said he would hurt him if I didn't tell him where to go.
Rocky, you should have told me. We could have rescued your friend together.
I know, I'm so sorry. In the end, he didn't let my friend go and just took away all of our new friends. I hope you can forgive me.
I felt bad for Rocky. I could tell he was sorry. It's okay. I know you just wanted to help your friend. We can figure it out together. In the meantime, though, we better go get some supplies to rebuild the base. From there, I headed into the mines and managed to find plenty of iron, as well as some gold and coal. I smelted down all of the iron and used it to make some iron bars. Then I headed out to the river and scooped up a bunch of clay. I then used the clay to make more bricks. At long last, I headed outside and replaced the fence with iron bars, while also repairing any other holes with the bricks. It took a while, but soon, the defenses were complete. Those wolves are gonna have a heck of a time breaking in again. On days 63 to 66, I told the bunny and Rocky to hang back at the base while I headed out to the dungeon. This could be dangerous, and I didn't want to lose any more friends. The journey was a long one, and I passed through all kinds of different terrain. As I was passing over a mountain, I saw a wolf in the distance, just as it destroyed a baby elephant. It was the Big Bad Wolf. What have you done? I charged at the wolf, but he disappeared again. What kind of monster would attack an innocent elephant? As I looked down, the elephant's mom came over the hill.
What have you done to my baby?
No, it wasn't me. It was the Big Bad Wolf. The elephant didn't care, and she attacked. I took a few swings to keep her back as I tried to explain, but she wasn't listening. My only option was to run away as fast as I could. On days 67 to 70, I could see the entrance to the cave up ahead. It looked really dark and scary. This must be it. Who knows what's waiting for me inside? I entered the cave and soon found out. Waiting for me was a group of skeletons. Why are you guys so creepy? The skeletons swung their swords and shot their arrows as I jumped around, hitting them with my sword. They got some hits in, but I was able to take them all out. I headed deeper into the caves and saw a spawner. Let's just get rid of this. I can't fight these mobs off for forever. On days 71 to 74, I pushed further into the mines when I saw some diamonds.
Wow.
Oh, those would help me so much. I quickly put up a bridge to cross over when suddenly the wall exploded and a zombified piglin came bursting through. Whoa! I quickly pulled out my fire rod and lit him up. He lit on fire, but my fire rod broke. Ouch, he's so strong. I swung with my sword as my health dropped, finally taking him out. As he disappeared, he dropped something. I picked it up, a diamond hammer. This thing is powerful, and I'm getting it just in time, too. Excited about my new weapon, I headed back over to the diamonds and mined them out, being careful not to drop them in the lava. With the diamonds in hand, I put down a crafting table and made myself a pair of diamond leggings to replace my iron ones. Maybe we can make it through here after all. On days 75 to 78, I had finally reached a big empty room. There was a chest on the other side. Hello? Looks like this place is deserted. I walked over to the chest when suddenly I heard a thump behind me. I turned around and saw a giant spider had dropped down from the ceiling. Oh, hey man, you mind if I grab what's in the chest and leave?
You wish, bunny boy. You're not getting out of here alive.
I thought you might say something like that. Just then, the spider leaped forward and attacked. I got hidden, but not before he started shooting his webs at me. Oh boy, this isn't going to be as easy as I was hoping.
Looks like it's time to get my very own lucky rabbit foot.
That's just a weird thing to say. The spider charged at me, but I was ready. I jumped out of the way, causing him to jump into the pool of lava. I'll keep my feet, thanks. Just then, I felt the energy surge through me, and I leveled up into a buff bunny man. Whoa, I have 10 hearts now, too. I went over to the chest and opened it. Inside were the lenses to the rad glasses, along with a bunch of diamonds. I can't wait to see what the Elder Rabbit can do with these. On days 79 to 84, I arrived at the Elder Rabbit's house. Sir, I've got everything you need to remake the rad glasses.
Zozo, well done, well done. This is just what we needed.
The Elder Rabbit quickly turned to his enchanting table and assembled the glasses, imbuing them with special power. He turned and tossed them back to me.
Take these and take courage. The hope of all bunny kind rests with you now. We know you can do it.
Thank you. I'll give it everything I've got. I turned and left his house. Time to get ready for the final fight. On days 85 to 89, I arrived back at the base and saw the rabbit and Rocky had done a great job improving it. Nice job, you guys. This place looks amazing.
Thanks, Zozo. We had a lot more creatures come and join us, so we had to build them all a place to stay.
Aren't they scared?
Yes, but they believe in you and know this is the safest place for them to be.
I sure hope so. That reminds me, we better finish our special project. There could be more creatures out there. Rocky and I headed back out to our statue and got to work finishing it up. This carrot was going to be a beacon to all the animals in the area that this was a safe place. It didn't take long, and we were soon finished. Now let's go get prepped. We've got some wolf butt to kick. On days 90 to 94, I was back in the base, putting together some diamond armor. I used the diamonds I had found in the dungeon, as well as some additional ones Rocky had found in the cave. I better go check the chest too. Rocky said he had some stuff for me in there. I opened the chest and saw it was full of healing potions. I grabbed them all and added them to my inventory. I'm feeling pretty stacked. Let's go wolf hunting. On days 95 to 96, I ran across the land in the direction of the wolf's base. It wasn't too long until I hit a river. The wolf's base was supposed to be further downstream, so I chopped down a nearby tree and built myself a boat. As I paddled down the river, I soon entered a dense jungle. It wasn't too long until I came across my first wolf. Hey, leave that cat alone! I ran ashore and started swinging, saving the cat.
Thank you. I thought I was a goner for sure.
No problem. I'm just glad you're okay.
You're so nice. Here, follow me. I saw something I think you'll find useful.
Cat set off into the trees as I followed close behind. We soon reached a small stone building covered in cobwebs. I cut down the webs and opened the chest inside. A trident and a shield. You're right. These will help a ton. Thank you.
Happy to help. I owe you after all.
I invited the cat to stay at my base, to which he happily agreed. I decided to give the trident a test, sticking it into the nearby tree. This thing is awesome. It's definitely going to help in the fight. I headed back to my boat and kept rowing down the river. Suddenly, the crocodile from before popped out. This guy again. I thought I taught him a lesson the last time. The crocodile lunged at me, catching me in his jaws. Oh, let me go! I swung my sword as he kept trying to do damage to me. This guy was tough. Let's see how you like this. I took out my trident and threw it, spearing him into oblivion. Better luck next time, pal. On days 97 to 98, I was rowing down the river when I saw my stop up ahead. I jumped out of the boat and started climbing the mountain. The wolf's lair soon came into view. As I got closer, a couple of wolves attacked. Sorry guys, but you picked the wrong guy for a boss. By using my sword, trident, and shield, I managed to fend them off. I entered the mansion, and more wolves attacked. They were vicious, but they were no match for my new armor and weapons. One by one, I took them out. Let's see, where could this guy be? I'll check the basement. I headed down the stairs and saw a tarantula at the end of the hallway, who charged. What's with this guy and spiders? The tarantula managed to stick me with a stinger, which poisoned me. It was doing damage, so I had to be quick. Luckily, I was able to take him out as the poison wore off. Let's try upstairs instead. I headed to the second floor as a couple of wolf guards came charging at me. I could tell these guys thought they were cool, but they couldn't get past my shield. Guess they weren't the smartest couple of doggos. I managed to take them both out. I was rounding one of the corners when a monkey came running up to me. Hey you! Oh hey, wow, you sound just like me. That's because I am you, from the other video. Oh yeah, the video where I survived 100 days as a monkey. That's right. Yeah, I just wanted to stop by and tell people they should come watch my monkey adventure after they finish this one. I think they'll like it. I agree. That was a crazy adventure. Tell Chim Chim I say hi. I will. Good luck with the wolf. Thanks. Wow, what a nice guy. On day 99, I reached the top floor of the lair where the big bad wolf was sitting on his throne, waiting for me.
Well, 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 if it isn't the little bunny who cried wolf.
You think you're so strong, but you attack bunnies who can't see you. You're a coward.
Is that so? Now you're just making me angry, and I was already hungry. You won't like me when I'm hangry.
The wolf leaped forward and attacked. He was strong, but I was ready. He got a few bites in, but I landed some blows of my own. I could tell he wasn't expecting me to be so strong.
Let's see how you like this.
The wolf started summoning in some smaller wolves who I was able to easily outmaneuver and defeat. Then I hit the wolf with my sword, causing him to retreat. Still a coward, hiding behind others to fight for you, I see.
I'm not a coward. I'm just powerful. Enough games. This ends now.
Suddenly, the wolf disappeared and started to attack me. And now you're cloaking? You're just proving me right. The wolf reappeared on his throne.
Who cares? You'll be gone soon. No one can stop me when I use my powers.
I quickly grabbed my rad glasses and put them on. The wolf used his cloaking power again, but I could still see him.
What? How did you hit me?
Not so invisible after all, are you?
How dare you?
The wolf let out a flurry of attacks, which caught me off guard, nearly taking all of my health. Maybe I was being a little too cocky. He only had to hit me one more time, and I was done for.
Zozo!
I looked over and saw Rocky standing by the stairs.
Catch!
He threw a splash potion at me, which immediately restored all of my health.
No!
I pulled out my trident and threw it at the wolf, destroying him for good. Rocky, I can't believe you followed me here. I'm glad you did, though. You saved the day. But our work here isn't done yet. On day 100, I headed down into the basement and used my hammer to break the animals out of their cages. Be free, my friends. It's safe now. After I had broken all of the animals out, I stood by the door of the mansion as the creatures ran to freedom. Sometime later, I was back at my base, surrounded by all my new friends. Thanks for all of your help, and I'll catch you in my next adventure. On day 1, I spawned in as a baby goat. Oh, I'm a tiny little goat. And ooh, look how high I can jump. Let's see how fast I can climb this hill. I hopped on over, and that's when I realized I could climb the sides of the hills too. Oh yeah, look at me go. I was feeling pretty good about myself, hip-hopping around, when I was suddenly attacked by a raptor. A dinosaur? What century is this? I didn't have time to worry about that though, because I only had 4 hearts. The problem was, I had nowhere to run. That's when I noticed I had some sort of special ability. Headbutt. Alright, I'll give it a try. I swung my head and sent the raptor flying straight off the cliff. Sayonara! I headed down the hill. What was a dinosaur doing around here? Suddenly there was a rustling up ahead and a whole pack of raptors were coming right at me. More of them? I don't think I can take on a whole pack. They were closing in fast, so I jumped up the side of the hill and started to climb. They couldn't follow me straight up the side of a cliff. Better luck next time, boys. The raptor snarled at me and left. I kept watch for the rest of the day. Who knew if those raptors would attack again? On day 2, I headed down off the cliff. I had to be careful, just in case there were any dinosaurs lurking around. Just then, I heard a cry out in the distance.
Help!
I rushed off toward the sound and saw a little baby goat getting attacked by a couple of foxes. Hang on, buddy. I charged at the foxes with my head, knocking them back. No one was going to be picking on any goats today. They weren't very tough, and I was able to knock them both out.
That was a close one.
No problem. What's your name?
You can call me Billy.
That makes sense. Come on, Billy. I know a spot that's safe from all the meanies out here. Billy and I headed back over to my little cave, climbing up the mountain. This will be a safe place for us to stay for the night, but I think we can make it a little nicer. I ran outside and cut down some wood, then used it to make a crafting table. Then I used the crafting table to make a wooden axe. Now I can get all the wood I need. After I'd collected all the wood I needed, I started clearing out the cave, filling it with a nice wood floor. Then I added all the things Billy and I would need for a good starter base. Hopefully nothing would attack us in the night. On day 3, Billy and I had decided we would look for supplies, but first, I needed to make some stone tools. Using my crafting table, I made all the tools we could possibly need. Hopefully we could find a good food source. All right, Billy, let's get out there and see what we can find. While we were looking for any resources that might help, we were mostly hoping to find food because we knew we would be getting hungry sooner rather than later. Luckily for us, we soon saw a farm in the distance. Okay, I don't see anyone. If we're really sneaky, we can probably take just a little bit without getting caught. Billy and I got right to harvesting, collecting as much food as we could.
Why, hello over there.
Uh-oh, it was the farmer. We had to get out of there.
Wait, hang on a moment. I don't mind if you eat my crops. In fact, eat as much as you want.
Really? No one has ever been this nice to us.
Yes, well, there aren't very many friendly animals around here these days. Something dangerous out there seems to be making them disappear.
Well, if I had to guess, I'd say it's the dinosaurs taking them all out.
Dinosaurs? Huh. Well, I suppose that must be it. If that's the case, why don't you two stay in my barn for safety?
We agreed and followed him into his barn. There were some nice hay bales to lay on. I was a little unsure because our cave seemed pretty safe, but at least there was food and someone to look out for us. The sun set, and we put our heads down for the night. On days 4 through 5, Billy and I woke up in the back of the cart, pulled by the farmer. Hey, what's going on? The farmer didn't respond and kept looking ahead. That's when I realized we were all tied up and couldn't move. Where are you taking us? The farmer continued to ignore me. After a little while longer, we arrived at a small clearing. The farmer took us out and tied us to a post. Without saying a word, he got back on his horse and left. I've got a bad feeling about this. Just then, I heard a stick break and saw a pack of raptors walking toward us. We had no way to run. It looks like it's the end for us, Billy. Suddenly, the ground began to shake and there was the sound of heavy thuds. The raptors ran away. What's going on? Is it an earthquake? It was worse. A huge T-Rex came stomping around the corner, and he had on some kind of weird-looking hat.
Aha! My dinner is served. You look delicious.
This dinosaur could talk. We had to escape. The T-Rex lunged at us, but we jumped out of the way, causing him to break our rope instead. Hurry, Billy, run! We took off into the woods. Hopefully we could escape. On days 6 through 8, we were still running for our lives. The T-Rex was hot on our tails. As we came through a thick section of trees, we managed to slip through, leaving the T-Rex behind them. I think we lost him. It was wishful thinking though, as he came stomping around the other side of the trees. Our chase soon led us to a river, and I hurried and swam across. Billy was still just a baby though, and his tiny legs couldn't swim very fast.
It's okay, Zozo. Save yourself.
Keep swimming, Billy. I won't leave you behind.
Ugh, I hate getting wet.
The T-Rex was so close, and I wasn't sure if he would make it. But at the last moment, he jumped onto shore, and we continued to run. We soon came bursting out of the forest, running across an open plain. Billy kept falling into small ponds, which was always a close call. Let's go, Billy. Maybe we can lose him in the trees. We ran into a purple forest, but it was no use. The T-Rex was still right behind us. Man, this guy must be really hungry. Come on, I have an idea. We circled back into the forest from before, and I headed toward a ravine I had seen earlier. A large tree had fallen across it, so Billy and I hurried and ran across. Before the T-Rex could cross though, I quickly cut the log, stopping him in his tracks.
Nah, you silly goats. You got away this time, but no one can outsmart me now. I'll find you soon enough.
The T-Rex turned and ran off. How are we going to survive now? On days 9 through 10, Billy and I were running back to the base as fast as we could. It didn't feel like there was anyone out here that we could trust. Soon, we had arrived back at our cliffside base. Well, Billy, looks like this is going to be our home for the future. Let's fix it up. I got right to work, making our base even cooler than before. I cleared out even more space than before and lined the inside with lots of wood. I also gave us all the equipment we'd need: beds, furnaces, and crafting tables. As far as I knew, we were the only animals that could climb up steep cliffs, so no one else was going to be climbing into our base. So check it out. What do you think of the base? What part do you like the best? With the base completed, I decided to head over to some nearby caves to mine some iron. Luckily, I was able to quickly find some, so I mined it out. I also found some coal, which I was going to need to smelt the iron. I hurried back to the base and got right to work, smelting down all of the iron ore into iron ingots. I then used those to make myself a full set of iron armor, and also used them to make an iron sword, a pickaxe, axe, shovel, and hoe. This is all going to be good for me, but I think Billy is going to need some armor too. With some of the leftover iron, I made Billy some of his own goat armor. He's gonna love this. I brought it down to his base and tossed it out to him. He could barely contain his excitement. We're ready for anything now. Tomorrow, I'm gonna get that farmer back. On days 11 to 12, I left the base to go get that farmer. He was going to have a lot of explaining to do for leaving us tied to a post as dinosaur dinner. As I was making my way through the forest, I heard a howl and was suddenly attacked by a pack of wolves. Why is everyone here so mean to me? I'm just a simple man trying to make my way in the universe. It's a good thing I had just upgraded my gear though, as I was able to defeat the wolves with no trouble at all. Soon, I was back at the farm and noticed it looked abandoned. Where is that farmer? Don't tell me he's hiding. I then checked the farmhouse and saw the farmer inside, packing his bags. What did you think you were doing, leaving us to be eaten like that? I hit the farmer and he started to fight back. He clearly wasn't ready for a fight though.
Hang on just a second there. Please don't hurt me.
And why wouldn't I? You weren't very nice to me.
Okay, let me explain.
Start talking, Slick. What's up with the T-Rex?
That T-Rex is crazy. I don't know how he got here in our time or how he learned to talk, but he's been forcing me to feed him all my animals. If I didn't give him more, he was gonna eat me. I decided I couldn't do it anymore though, and I was gonna flee. Time to start myself a vegetable garden somewhere peaceful. I promise, I'm not a danger to anyone.
I could tell he was sorry for what he had done, so even though I was still upset, I decided to forgive him and let him go. I left as he planted some vegetables I could use later. The farmer was no longer a threat, but what was I going to do about this T-Rex? On days 13 to 15, I arrived back at our base and headed up to Billy's room. When I entered, I barely recognized the place. Whoa, Billy, you've got a lot of work done. Your room looks awesome.
Thanks, Zozo. I also thought it'd be fun if we built a special statue. Here, take this wool. I'll show you what to do.
Billy and I headed out and got started on the statue. Billy was really excited about what we were building, and I thought it was coming along great. At least, as far as I could tell, it was pretty great. We soon finished the first part. Can you tell what we're building? I'm not really sure quite yet. I jumped down from the statue, and as I was walking, I was attacked by a bunch of spiders. Oh look, another mob who wants to hurt me. Stay back, you punks. These guys weren't very tough, and I managed to take them out in just a few hits. Uh-oh, I can hear some more spiders in that cave. I better take them out too. I entered the cave, and sure enough, there were more spiders. One of these spiders was different though, and had blue eyes. The spiders were pretty mad at me, and they hurt a lot. But if I could survive a T-Rex attacking me, I could fight these guys off too. I managed to beat them both down. When the blue-eyed guy disappeared, he left behind something interesting. Poisonous essence. I'm not sure what I'll do with this, but I'll have to hang on to it for now. Just then, I heard more spider noises echoing from the cave. I headed in deeper. What kind of monster would be waiting for me? On days 16 to 19, I was making my way deeper into the cave when I came across a bunch of brown terracotta. I don't know what all of this is doing down here, but Billy said we'd need it for the statue. I eagerly mined up all of the terracotta. Who knew when we'd be able to find more? As I scooped up the rest of the terracotta, I heard those spider noises again. Well, let's go down a little deeper, just to take a look. I soon arrived at the very bottom of a deep cave that was full of spider webs. I turned around and saw there was a huge spider on the ceiling. Okay, just stay calm, don't panic. Suddenly, the spider attacked. Spiders! Why did it have to be spiders? This big hairy beast did a lot of damage, and I wasn't sure if I was going to survive. If I could get the right hits in, I just might make it. I swung my sword as hard as I could and finally was able to take it down. Just then, I felt my strength begin to grow, and I leveled up into a bigger goat, and I've gained 4 more hearts. I took a closer look at my headbutt ability and noticed I had an even stronger knockback power, and I could jump higher too. I hurried back to my house. I had an idea of what I could do with the poisonous essence. I walked back up to my crafting table, and by combining the essence with my iron sword, I crafted a spider sword. Tomorrow, I'm heading off to find the T-Rex. On days 20 to 22, I left my base to go find the T-Rex. I wasn't quite ready to fight him, but surely he had a base somewhere. If I could find his base, maybe I could find a way to defeat him. As I walked across the land, I heard a noise up in the distance.
Oh, you wild raptors, get away from me.
The group of raptors were attacking what looked to be a scientist. He needed my help. Watch out, I'm coming in. I leapt into action and started to fight off the raptors. I was stronger and had better gear, so these raptors didn't know what hit them. They were a feisty bunch, but I was able to knock them all out.
Oh my goodness, aren't you just a marvelous little animal?
Oh, well, thanks. Who are you, and what are you doing all the way out here? There's all kinds of strange things going on.
The name's Faraday, and yes, I am aware of these things. They are actually all my fault.
Your fault? What do you mean? The scientist began to explain.
You see, I'm not actually from this time. I am from the future. I invented a time machine helmet that let me travel all the way back to dinosaur times. I ran across the land. I felt so cool knowing that I was the first human to ever step foot on the land. Later that day, though, I sat down to rest, and a little raptor came and scooped my helmet onto his head. This wouldn't have been the biggest problem, but that T-Rex came along, flipped the raptor into the air, and the helmet landed on his head. Thing is, though, my helmet also makes the user smarter, which is why the T-Rex can talk. I had an old prototype helmet that I used to chase the T-Rex through time, but it broke when we got to this present. Luckily, the T-Rex seems pretty happy to be here, since there is plenty of easy food for him.
Wow, that is not the story I was expecting to hear when I woke up today. So what can we do to get the helmet back?
I have some ideas, but I haven't been able to test any of them out yet. That T-Rex's sidekicks keep attacking me. He must have brought them through time with him.
Well, we've got a safe base built into a hill. How about you come live with us? You can do your research in peace there.
That would be terrific.
On days 23 to 26, I got right to work, building Faraday a lab at our base. There was all kind of technology that he wanted added, and it took a lot of hard work to get it right. But in the end, I was able to make him everything he would need to continue doing research. When it was complete, Faraday went and took a look around to make sure everything was in working order. Later on, I hopped in the elevator and took it for a ride myself. It was kind of fun riding in the elevator and getting to look out the window, but I'd still rather climb up the side of cliffs. I met Faraday in the front of the lab, and he told me how happy he was to finally get started. It was going to take some time for him to figure things out, but he said I should make sure I upgrade my gear for when we finally face off against the T-Rex. On days 27 to 31, I decided that I could use some more upgrades that could keep me safe from attack. Faraday told me there was a special item I could get from bears that could help me with this. Bears are super scary. I sure hope nothing goes wrong as I do this. I headed to a nearby forest and soon saw a small group of bears. With my spider sword in hand, I attacked. Very nice to meet you, sir. The bear didn't seem very happy to meet me and swung at me with their heavy claws. They were pretty tough, and it was a hard fight, but in the end, I was able to take him out. There were a couple of other bears nearby too, which I was able to quickly defeat without too much trouble. That's when I saw one of them had dropped what I was looking for. Oh look, steadfast spikes. This makes it harder for bad guys to knock me back. Awesome! I then noticed there were some fruit trees nearby, so I ran through the trees and collected as much fruit as I could. Fruits are the best. I always try to eat them when I can. After I collected the fruits, I decided to do some exploring. As I crossed an empty field, I saw a small house in the distance. Let's see who lives here. I knocked on the door and a raccoon was inside.
Who's out there?
Hi, I just wanted to see who lived here and make sure you knew about the T-Rex running around.
A T-Rex? Big deal. I have a bigger problem.
A bigger problem? What could that be?
My magic coal was stolen.
Your what?
My magic coal. It's the best thing I've ever found.
Do you mean stole?
How I got it isn't important. Do you think you can help me or not?
Sure, I'll help. The raccoon explained that a coyote had grabbed it off his doorstep when he wasn't looking and told me where to go to find him. I nodded and headed off for the camp. On days 32 to 35, I soon arrived at the coyote's base. This place is way bigger than the raccoon made it sound. I walked in and was immediately attacked by a pack of wolves. Relax, guys, I'm just looking for a piece of coal. The wolves didn't care and continued to attack. With my attacks, I was able to defeat them before they could do too much damage. Now, where could this magic coal be? What does that even look like? I kept looking through the base, fighting off the occasional wolf here and there. Eventually, I reached the top of the base as I finished up the rest of the wolves.
Hey, who do you think you are coming into my house and messing with my guards?
I'm here for Mr. Raccoon. You stole something of his and I'm here to get it back.
That little raccoon is such a loser. He just gets stuff out of the trash. He's weird, so I like being mean to him.
Well, that's no way to treat someone for being different. The coyote and I started to fight. This guy was so mean. It's not okay to talk about people like that. By using my spider sword, I was able to poison him, which was bringing down his health. You're not as tough as you think you are. The coyote and I kept going at each other until at long last, I hit him with the final blow and took him out. That's when I saw he had dropped the magic coal. I don't know what's so special about this, but I better get it back to that raccoon. With the coal in my pocket, I hurried out of the base and headed back toward the raccoon's house. On days 36 to 39, I arrived back at the raccoon's house with his magic coal. After he came out of his house, I tossed it over to him.
Woo, my magic coal. I'm so happy to see it again. Thank you.
No problem. I'm just happy I could help.
You have done the greatest thing for me. Here, I have something that you might be interested in.
The raccoon threw out an interesting looking piece of tech.
I don't know what it's for, but maybe that scientist friend of yours could use it. By the way, I get around these parts quite a bit, so if you're ever in need of information, let me know. I can probably help.
I thanked him and turned to head back to the base. I wondered if Faraday would know something about this tech. On days 40 to 43, I arrived back to the base and headed up and into the science lab. I saw Faraday working in his lab and knocked on the window.
Zozo, it's been a while. How are things going?
Really good. While I was out exploring, I came across this strange piece of tech. Do you know anything about it?
My Lanta, that's part of the teleportation helmet the T-Rex has. Without this, he's not able to travel through time.
Well, that's good, right? It means we have a chance to stop him before he can ruin other timelines.
Precisely. I've been doing some research of my own. Let me check my notes here.
Faraday went over to his computers and printed out some notes.
Yes, I am able to make the needed repairs, but there's a special element I need to do them.
That sounds easy enough. Do you know where I can get them?
I do, but the catch is that you have to defeat a rather nasty mob to get it.
Faraday went on to explain where I needed to go to find them. Hopefully it's not too much of a fight. On days 44 to 49, I headed into the mystical forest Faraday had told me about. As I got closer, I was suddenly attacked by a heavy creeper. Whoa, slow down there, buddy. I swung at him and managed to knock him out. It looked like he had dropped something, which I picked up. Creeper shards. Was this what Faraday was looking for? I better keep looking around. I kept going through the forest when suddenly a bunch of the creepers began attacking me and exploding. Keep it together, guys. Jeez. I managed to fight my way through the explosions with my ears ringing in my head. I soon stumbled upon a cave. Okay, he did mention it might be in a cave. I'll take a look. I headed into the cave and was attacked by a couple of spiders. I hit them with my spider sword. How do you like a taste of your own medicine? The spiders were soon destroyed and I continued down the cave. It kept going deeper and deeper until I saw something terrifying ahead. Okay, this has got to be it. What is this thing? The earth golem made a terrible sound as it tried to hit me. He definitely didn't like me stomping around in his cave. With his giant arms, he knocked me down to half a heart. My spider sword had poisoned him, and I was able to land the final blow. Yes, I got him! As he disappeared, I noticed that he dropped something. This looks like some kind of strange display. This must be what Faraday is after. Just then, I felt that familiar power flow into me, and I turned into a bigger and stronger goat. Looks like I've got 13 hearts now, too. While I was down there, I also got to work mining out the diamonds in the wall. No wonder this guy didn't want anyone down here. It was filled with good stuff. That should be everything. Let's get this back to Faraday and see what he can do with it. On days 50 to 53, I returned back to the base and headed into the lab. Faraday was hard at work and was very excited to see that I had made it back. I believe this is what you were searching for?
Oh, Zozo, you beautiful being. This is going to work perfect.
I was feeling pretty good about myself, so I tossed in the creeper shards as well. And what do you think of this?
Zozo, this is a ground creeper toenail. Please, never give this to me again.
Oh, my bad. Faraday said it would take him a few days to get the next project put together, so I headed back up to the base to craft some diamond armor. I decided I could use a full set of armor, so I made that. Then I went ahead and made an entire set of tools. I always felt a little bit more safe after making new diamond gear. With my armor upgraded, I headed outside to go and do some more work on the statue. I had the terracotta I had collected before, so I wanted to make some good progress. So what do you think about the second part? Think you can still guess what it's going to be? I then headed back over to my base. This place could use some more improvements. I decided I wanted to add another level atop the cliff. We hadn't been attacked by any mobs, and I was pretty sure nothing was going to get to us. I was pretty proud of what I was able to build, and thought it looked really cool. This is a nice house, but it is pretty big. I think I should go get Mr. Raccoon and invite him to live here. It's not safe out there. On days 54 to 57, I was heading across the field when I saw that the raccoon's house had been destroyed. As I got closer, I saw him lying in the center of his destroyed house. He was clearly hurt. Oh no, who did this to you?
It was those raptors. I guess some of the wolves told them I sent you to get my magic coal back from the coyote, and they attacked me without warning.
I'm sorry. I can't help feeling like this is all my fault. Surely I can get you something to save you.
It's too late. They took everything I have. And don't worry, it's not your fault. Thanks for being the nice one who was willing to stand up for me.
And just like that, the raccoon fell over and disappeared. But before I could do anything else, I heard someone come up behind me.
Well, look who it is, boys.
You have a time-traveling helmet. How?
The big boss man made it for me. He's real smart now and is good with all them technologies. Speaking of which, we know you're hiding that little science man. Hand him over and we'll let you little goats live.
Why would I let you guys have him? You're just going to hurt him or try to get him to make more helmets.
We don't need him to make more helmets. Mr. Rex is gonna make all of us our own. Then you won't be able to do nothing.
You can make as many helmets as you want, but if there's no one to wear them, that's not gonna do you much good, is it?
Well, what do you mean, no one to wear them? Can't you see all my boys here?
All that technology on your head and you're still not very smart, are you? I jumped forward and swung at the raptor, knocking him back. There were a lot of them, but I couldn't let them get away with everything. They hurt my friend, and they wanted to hurt everyone else I knew. You guys are gonna pay for what you've done. I managed to knock out all of the raptors one by one until only the leader was left.
Boy, you're crazy. I'm getting out of here.
Get back here, you coward! I chased the raptor into the forest, but unfortunately he managed to get away in the trees. I had to hurry back to Faraday. We were running out of time. On days 58 to 62, I returned back to the base and headed for the lab. I knocked on the window, and Faraday came out to meet me.
Zozo, what is it? You look worried.
The T-Rex has figured out how to make his own helmets and is trying to give them to a whole army of raptors. That, and they hurt one of my new friends.
Oh dear, I'm so sorry to hear it. I do have some good news for you though. I haven't got the time travel fixed yet, but I built a tracker into this helmet that will lead you to anyone who has a helmet of their own. Perhaps now we may be able to find their base and hit them where it hurts.
I put the helmet on and started it up. Right away I could see a map that showed several X's on it. They must have split up. This is going to be a massive help in our hunt to track them down. Just then, Billy came walking up to us.
Zozo, I think you should go for the raptor first. Then we can focus on the T-Rex. Those raptors could be out there, hurting even more
innocent animals.
That's a good point. Plus, it'll be easier to take down the T-Rex if his sidekicks are gone. I'm on it. On days 63 to 66, I decided that if I was going to fight the raptor, I needed to beef up my gear. I had nearly defeated him last time, so he'd be stronger when we met next. I headed across the land to a lavender field to get what I needed. Rumor says there's alexandrite ore here, which is even stronger than diamonds. I headed into the field and soon found some alexandrite ore. I mined it up as fast as I could. I couldn't believe I found it so quickly. With my pockets full of ores, I took a look around and saw a big sign on a hill. Oh, that reminds me, don't forget to sub to the channel, otherwise you'll miss our next adventure together. Sometime later, I had arrived back at the base and headed over to the crafting table. With the new ore, I was able to make myself a new helmet, chestplate, leggings, and boots. I went ahead and equipped everything. Let's get that tracking system booted up and take down that raptor. On day 67 to 70, I stepped outside my house and booted up the tracker. Okay, I can see 2 X's on the map. Looks like they're still separated. This one looks a little closer to the raccoon's place, so I'm guessing that's the raptor. I headed down from my base and off into the forest. The X was still pretty far away, so I made sure to stop and check every now and then. Oh, it looked like it moved. I better hurry so I can catch up to them. I kept going in the direction of the X, passing through some pretty impressive landscapes. It was too bad there were so many mean dinosaurs about, because the land was really beautiful. I stopped and checked my map one more time. Okay, it looks like I'm pretty close, and that they might be in some kind of structure. It must be their base. I kept making my way there, when suddenly I saw a fortress off in the distance. I could see a bunch of raptors roaming around, and a lot of them had helmets on. Uh-oh, looks like they've made more helmets. I better get in there, and fast. On days 71 to 74, I charged up to the base and attacked the guards. They had helmets of their own, but they didn't seem to be very smart. The T-Rex clearly wasn't very good at making them yet. I defeated the guards and headed into the base. There were even more raptors in here. Where's your leader? I cut through the raptors using my spider sword and other attacks. They didn't stand a chance. I had to hurry though. If they figured out how to make the helmets perfectly, we'd be in a world of hurt. I'd finally taken out all of the raptors in the courtyard when I noticed they had a storage shed nearby. I started opening the different containers to see if they had anything good. I grabbed some of their supplies, but also saw there were some raptor teeth nearby. Oh, I know just the thing I can make with this. Using the crafting table, I managed to make a raptor tooth sword. Let's see how they like fighting against themselves. On day 75 to 78, I went to go find the raptor leader when he jumped out and hit me. Ouch! Get back here! I chased him into the base and down a long flight of stairs. We soon reached an open room.
Who do you think you are? One single goat trying to take down a whole base of raptors? This ends here. Get 'em, boys!
Suddenly, all the raptors in the room started to attack. This guy was no leader. He just wanted to make everyone do his dirty work for him. You'd think with all these smart helmets, you guys would actually have some kind of strategy for this fight. The raptors were swarming in on me, but I was able to keep them back, using all of my weapons. Their leader watched as I finished taking out all of his henchmen. Why don't you come down here and fight me yourself? Or are you too scared?
Scared? Ain't nobody calling me scared.
The raptor leader jumped forward and started swinging. It turns out he was actually pretty tough. I had learned a lot through all of my fights though, and nothing was going to make me back down. He had to pay for what he did to my raccoon friend. I hit him as hard as I could and could see he would soon be defeated.
Heh, it doesn't matter that you beat me. You'll never beat Mr. Rex. He's gonna fix the time machine soon, and then there'll be hundreds of raptors and other dinosaurs here. You won't stand a chance.
And just like that, he was defeated. He was right though. If we don't stop the T-Rex, we're all gonna be someone's dinner. On day 79 to 84, I was heading back to my base when I saw a nearby cave. It wouldn't hurt to get some more resources, so let's see what we can find. As I approached the cave, I was suddenly attacked by a bunch of mushroom pigs. I should have known I would run into something like you here. I quickly knocked them out and headed into the cave, fighting some more mushroom pigs along the way. They weren't very strong. There were a lot of them. That's when I noticed there was a bunch of redstone in here. I'm not sure what I can use this for yet, but maybe there's some kind of creative build Faraday can make with it. I continued into the cave, collecting as much redstone as I could find. There were also a bunch of mushroom pigs, which I quickly knocked out of the way. At the very end of the cave, there was a room filled with an insane amount of redstone. Oh yeah, if I ever need more, I know just where to get it. I headed back out of the cave toward my base. I needed to talk to Faraday. Hopefully he had made some progress on the helmet. On days 85 to 89, I had arrived back at the base and headed down into the lab. I gave Faraday a knock on the window and he came out to meet me. I told him all about what had happened with the raptors and how the T-Rex was starting to make even more helmets.
Yes, that is very concerning. I have been working on some updates as well, though. Let me show you.
While you look for that, I also collected some redstone. Maybe it can help. I tossed out the redstone I had gathered when suddenly there was a crackling sound coming from Faraday's pocket.
What's this? The substance seems to be reacting with the updated helmet I made.
The redstone? That's kind of weird, isn't it?
Ah, redstone is what you call it. This material must have disappeared before my time. Are you able to get more of this? I have an idea.
Oh yeah, I can definitely get more. I'll be right back. On days 90 to 94, I headed back to the redstone cave. He said he needed more. I'll get him more. I got right to work mining out a bunch of the redstone. There was no way this wouldn't be enough. It took a long time, but I finally gathered up all the redstone we would need. Soon I was back in the lab and gave Faraday a knock on the window. As always, he was excited to meet me.
You've brought me more redstone, I presume?
Oh yeah, this should be more than enough to do whatever you're thinking. I tossed all the redstone I had gathered on over to him.
Excellent.
Excellent! Here's the upgraded helmet. This blue shield on top should protect you from the effects of the redstone.
Faraday then tossed out a bunch of redstone power balls.
Now that we've combined these with the redstone, they'll pack a powerful punch against anyone wearing a helmet. In fact, it should disable it, at least for a moment.
That'll be awesome! This is going to be a lifesaver, I'm sure.
Ah yes, speaking of which, there is a special strength ability I've programmed in it as well, but it will only work once, so be sure to only use it when you really need it.
I nodded and thanked him for all of his hard work. It's a good thing he got trapped in our time too. Otherwise, we'd never get out of this mess. On days 95 to 97, I decided I should upgrade the base one more time before heading out to face the T-Rex. Billy was still young and I wanted to make sure he had a safe place to live, just in case things went sideways. Once I had expanded the base a little more, I grabbed Billy and we went outside to work on the last part of the statue. This was a tough one to build, but I think it looks really cool. It would certainly scare off anyone who thinks that they're tougher than us, that is. Soon, we had completed the statue. I was pretty proud of everything we had built so far. I still had a lot of ideas for the future though. What part of the builds were your favorite? On day 98, I stepped outside the base to have a chat with Billy. Alright Billy, I'm headed off to fight the T-Rex. Hopefully, I'll see you soon.
Good luck, Zozo, but before you go, there was something I wanted to say.
That sounds important. What is it?
I just think that everyone needs to subscribe, otherwise we'll never win.
Oh, that is important. Be sure to hit the subscribe button, as that will give us the strength to win the fight. Billy headed back inside, and I booted up the tracking system. Alright, I can see him on the map. It's showtime. I headed off in the direction of the T-Rex. It was now or never. On day 99, I had made it to the edge of the T-Rex's base. He definitely couldn't have built a base like this without some intelligence. This guy isn't going to be like the Raptors. This guy's for real. I made my way closer and took a look up at the tower. There's no time to waste. I'm coming for you, Rexy. I charged into the base and entered the inside of the tower, where the T-Rex was waiting for me.
I've been waiting for you, Zozo.
That sounds kind of awkward, just standing here, alone, in a tower, waiting for me.
Nah, I don't have time for your nonsense. Obviously, I've been doing other things.
Oh yeah? Like what? Being sad I took out all of your friends?
My friends, please. There were more dinosaurs here too, but I got hungry.
You ate all of the other dinosaurs? You truly are a monster.
Say what you want, but it doesn't matter. This helmet is nearly fully operational. I can bring dinosaurs in anytime I want. And soon, I'll be able to jump time myself.
That wasn't good to hear. I had to hurry and take action before you could do anything else. If you think you're so tough, you'll have to get through me first.
That's the idea.
The T-Rex lunged at me and we started to fight. If I was going to save the future, the time to do so was now. The T-Rex lived up to his reputation, hitting me with some hard hits. It hurt, and my health was dropping fast. Oh, I can't let this guy keep getting these hits on me. I'm not gonna last long like this. I refocused and started to get in some more hits of my own. I think he was really surprised by how strong I was, especially when I would hit him with my headbutt.
You think you can defeat me? Let me show you what real power is.
Suddenly, 2 portals opened up and more dinosaurs came flying in. No, not the time travel! These dinosaurs were insane! I swung my sword and managed to take them out, but soon there were even more coming in.
Don't you see? You can take down as many dinosaurs as you want, but I will always have the upper hand.
He was right. I couldn't keep fighting off time-traveling dinosaurs forever. What could I do? Oh, wait a second. What am I doing? If I want to stop the time travel, I need to disable his helmet. I reached for the power balls Faraday had given me and started to throw them. As they hit the T-Rex, I could see his helmet start to spark as he ran around in circles.
Oh, what is going on?
This is it. I've got to use that one-time strength boost. If there was ever a time I needed it, it's now. I clicked the button on my helmet and I started to grow. I even gained more hearts. I was big enough to truly take him on now. This feels amazing. Now I really am the GOAT. I charged at the T-Rex and landed a hit on him, just as the sparking effects were wearing off.
What the? How did you get so big?
The T-Rex started to spawn in more dinosaurs, but it didn't matter. I quickly cut them down and kept hitting the T-Rex. This is for all the animals you hurt. I could tell I was really hurting him, but he was hurting me too. It was only a matter of time before one of us fell. Who was it going to be? Just then, I delivered the final blow, and the T-Rex disappeared, dropping his helmet. I don't believe it. He's gone. But I better hurry. Faraday needs this helmet. On day 100, I returned back to my base. This time, Faraday came out to meet me.
Zozo, you're back. You must have done it.
I did, and I couldn't have done it without your help. Here, let me give you the helmet back.
You know, why don't you hang on to it? I just need this one component. You never know. Something might come up again when I need your help. In the future.
You never know what's going to happen, but I'm glad that today was a success. In the meantime, I'll be here, ready for when adventure calls. On day 1, I spawned in as a cute and not so ugly little duckling. I'm so tiny, I've only got 2 hearts. I guess that checks out. I'm not strong, I'm just a square of fluff. At least I can fly. Nope, I can't fly yet, but I can swim. And check out my duck family. I've got a mama duck and a bunch of duckling siblings. They were all swimming in a pond. Hey guys, wait up for me. Wow, this sure is peaceful, just paddling along. My siblings and I had a great time splashing around together and following Mother Duck around. We didn't even run into any trouble. As the sun set that night, we made a little shelter and all huddled together to go to sleep. Maybe this will be an easy 100 days of survival. Hey, a duck can dream. On day 2, we were all awoken by the sound of loud barking. I looked around and saw we were surrounded by some mean-looking dogs. Our little duck shelter was super weak. The dogs got right in and started attacking us. Oh no! I would have to be brave. Feel the wrath of my mighty beak. I tried to fight back, but I instantly realized that a little duck stands no chance against big mean dogs. We would have to make a run for it. My duck family and I fled away, waddling as fast as our little webbed feet could take us. But it was no use. The dogs ended up surrounding us again. I have to do something. Whoa! Next thing I knew, I was tumbling fast down a steep hill. Ouch! Oof! You could definitely say I was on a roll. I fell with a splash into some water at the end of the hill. I was nowhere near my family anymore. They were all still far above me. My family was being kidnapped. I did what I could to find my way back in time to save them, but by the time I arrived, everyone was gone. This is not good. What'll I do without them? I made my way back to where I first saw my family. I wish I was playing with the other ducklings right now. I don't want to be all alone. If I wanted to survive long enough to find out what happened to them, I'd have to find someplace to hide. I noticed a little hole along the edge of the pond and ducked into it. No pun intended. I waited out the night there and decided to track down my duck family in the morning. On day 3, I woke up without any issues from the other predators. I hopped out of the hole in hopes of seeing that my family had returned. But to my great disappointment, there were no signs of other ducks around. With nothing else to do, I went around and started collecting and mining materials to build a better shelter. I didn't want to be out in the open if the dogs returned. I'll have to be smarter than the average bird brain when I build this shelter. I need to keep the big, bad dogs out. Eventually, I had a good amount of supplies and started crafting my craft table, wood tools, and then began the beginnings of my little house by the shore of the pond. Location, location, location. This house had a great view. It was the perfect spot for a duck like me. On days 4 to 5, I still needed lots more materials for my base. I had to waddle off a little farther away from the pond to get more materials. Suddenly, I saw a peacock in the distance. I came closer and asked the peacock if I could get some wood. I explained my situation to him. The bird gasped.
My family was kidnapped by a group of dogs, too.
No way! What are the chances of that happening? Do you know where our families were taken? The bird wasn't sure, but explained that they were being kept somewhere so their feathers could be harvested over and over. That's awful, ruining lives just for some measly feathers. We heard a rustling and out jumped an ocelot. The peacock was instantly spooked and ran away. I wish I could get away. But that wasn't an option for me. I would have to be tough. I was only a tiny duck, but I wanted to find my family. I couldn't let this cat ruin my chances to do that. I was able to dodge a lot of the attacks the cat threw at me. Then, without too much trouble, I defeated that rascally cat. You were a bad putty-tat. Once the cat was gone, I could feel myself changing. I was leveling up. I wasn't a little duckling anymore. I was a little bit bigger duckling. I had extra hearts, and let's test out these wings. I could fly a little bit. I'm a flying, talking ducky now. I could only fly a short distance, but it would give me some much needed advantages. This was neat. On days 6 to 8, I returned back to my base and started crafting some stone tools. As I worked, I started hearing something outside. I carefully went and looked around. I was hoping to see my duck family, but instead I saw one of those awful dogs sniffing around my house. I wasn't going to let him get away with his evil deeds. He would be sorry for stealing my family. Hey, you, dog, who are you, and what have you done with my family? The dog refused to give any information. Instead, it lurched at me. The dog probably thought that this would be an easy fight, but this time I had my stone tools. I was ready to take him down, and that's just what I did. Once the dog was gone, I saw that it dropped a note. I picked it up and read it. The note was an order for the dog to find the duck that got away, and to bring me back to the farm located in the Badlands. Aha! I will quack this case soon enough! Now I knew they were somewhere in the Badlands. Having that dog come after me proved to be a very helpful thing after all. On days 9 to 10, I did not want to waste any time. I traveled towards the Badlands. Having my new ability to briefly fly came in handy. Whenever I'd come across ravines or other obstacles, I could flap my way right across them. Up, up, and away! By and by, I made it to the Badlands with no harm done. I spotted the farm, but it didn't look so much like a farm. It looked more like a prison. There were so many sad animals fenced in and caged up. So many birds in cages. That's so mean. Birds need to be free to flap and fly. They shouldn't be cooped up. I noticed all the depressed animals, but I didn't notice the big wolf guard staring me down until I was close to her. I assumed she would yell at me, but instead, she lowered her voice.
You shouldn't be here. I would run far away from here if I were you.
Wait, you're not going to try and capture me?
Not if I don't have to. I'm not exactly happy with what is happening here. I'd leave myself, but things are complicated.
Who is in charge here?
I shouldn't be telling you any of this, but if you must know, he is a powerful monster. A big, big, big dog. Fearsome and powerful. No one dares go against him, or you'll be destroyed.
Just then, another guard came out of nowhere and attacked me. You need to go to obedience school. Didn't anyone tell you not to bite? I tried to fight back, but the guard was too strong. There's only one way out of this. I would have to run. I didn't like the idea of running away from my family, but I knew if I wanted to help them, I'd have to live to fight another day. I took my chance. Flapping my wings, I dashed away from the farm. On days 11 to 12, I ran away. I decided to take a rest in a tree. My wings and legs were getting so tired. I was new to this flying thing. I was getting ready to rest my eyes when I heard hooting. At first, I wasn't sure where the voice was coming from, but then I noticed an old owl on a branch.
Who are you, young duck?
Oh, I didn't see you there. Pardon me. I'm Zozo. What's your name?
I am Waymar the Wise. Who are you running away from?
I'm running from these dogs that are rounding up a lot of birds and other animals. They are throwing them in cages. They took my whole family. You should be very careful. You don't want to end up in a cage.
I know of who you speak. For this happened when I was a young owl, not much bigger than yourself. Animals were being taken from their homes and forced to do the bidding of their captors. We fought together and eventually defeated our foe. I'm much too old to fight again, but I can see the world is in need of a hero. Perhaps that hero is you, Zozo.
Who? Me? I don't know about that. I wasn't so sure that I could save the day. I couldn't even defeat one of the guards, but I knew I would do whatever I could to help my family escape. I bid the old owl goodbye and thanked him for his wisdom. I headed back to my base. I needed to regroup and figure out a plan. On days 13 to 15, I woke and realized what time it was. Upgrade time! I wasn't strong enough yet to go up against these dogs in the Badlands, but I could make my base more secure. After all, they could be sending more dogs out to grab me at any minute. So I started improving my little lakeside home. Man, I can't believe Big Dog is capturing all these animals. It's so messed up. If I didn't figure out something quick, more animals would be in trouble. I finished my upgrades and really wished my duck family could see the home I was building for them. I think they would get a quack out of it. Thinking of them made me get an idea. I could totally have them with me, just in a different way. A statue way. You know what time it is, right? Statue making time! I began building and thought about how the ducks taught me a lot. Life should be spent with the ones you love and being free as a bird. I liked the way it was coming along. The statue family would keep me company until I rescued my real family. I was really getting into building the statue when I heard a bird chirping excitedly. It was the peacock that had run away from the wild ocelot.
Well, bless my soul, it's you. Good to see you're still alive after that run-in with the cat.
Yeah, me too. My name is Zozo, by the way.
I'm Taffy. I noticed your nice lake house. Did you build that all on your own?
Yep, now I'm working on a statue of my duck family that got taken away.
It's hard living on your own, isn't it? I miss my family too.
Say, you could live here with me if you want. We can keep each other safe. I am working on a plan to rescue our families. Taffy thought that sounded great.
As long as I won't be too much of a burden.
I went inside and I made sure that she had everything a bird could need. On days 16 to 19, I decided it was past time I got around to making some iron weapons. I wandered around the area, and after a bit of flying around, I spotted something interesting. It was a mine shaft. Bingo! I entered the mine and followed the maze tracks to some iron. Of course, it wasn't a walk in the park down in the mines. It was a walk in the dark. I met some zombies and skeletons down there that were interested in ending my life. Back off, I've got a sword and I know how to use it. I started swinging my sword at them and had a couple close calls, but I knocked them out pretty quickly. It was good to see I was learning how to hold my own. Still, I didn't care to run into any more creatures, so after I had enough iron, I booked it out of the mine as fast as I could. Back at the house, I readied my supplies and got to work, crafting my stronger weapons and armor with my crafting table. These will give me the edge I need to go up against those tough guards. On days 20 to 22, it was time to release the Quacken. I told Taffy to keep a bird's eye on the base while I returned back to the Badlands. This time, I would be ready. Those guards won't see me coming. Because this time, I wasn't going through the door, I was flying overhead. I know what you're thinking, I wasn't the most accomplished flyer, but I could fly better than those dogs could. It was worth a try. As I approached the walls of the farm, I took a running start and launched into the air. I'm like a flying ninja.
Yay, there's a duck flying over our walls, into the farm. Now that's what you call a bird brain.
Well, I guess I wasn't as stealthy as I hoped I was. I landed near the guards.
Wait a second, it's that troublesome duck that keeps getting away from us. Get him!
I jumped into the air, dodging attacks. Toucan, play at this game, on guard. I got out my weapons and started handing out damage. I couldn't lie, it was a bit daunting. They would get a hit or a bite, but with my armor protecting me, they were toast after a few hits. What a rough day for you dogs, getting your tails handed to you by a little duck like me. Finally, I had finished the guards off. I didn't waste any time searching for my family. I started running all around the grounds searching for my family. I wanted to save all the other animals I saw, and I promised myself I would help them. But first, I had to locate my family. But they weren't in any of the cages or fences. Where are they?
What is all this squawking and hollering?
A chill ran down my spine. A giant creature stomped loudly out of the foreboding base. It was enormous. A big dog. I was terrified.
Guards, why are you letting some pipsqueak cause such a ruckus, eh? Looks like somebody ought to teach this quacker a lesson.
Big dog let out a psst, psst, psst. Out came a tiger. He charged at me. I tried to fly away, but it was no use. This big cat could jump high. I used my weapons, and his attacks broke my armor quickly. I was exposed, and I was losing hearts fast.
Hi-ya!
A big wolf came bounding into the fight. It was the nice guard. She told the tiger to back off.
Let's get out of here.
We ran for it. Who knew how many more guards would come running after us? Or worse, big dog. Shockingly, the tiger didn't chase after us. After a while, we felt safe enough to stop running. You saved my life.
I couldn't stand by any longer, and you're really brave. You might have what it takes to take down the farm.
I failed to save my family for a second time. I think it's pretty obvious I can't do that. The wolf assured me that she believed in me. It was nice, but I still felt awful that I hadn't saved them yet. Where are you going to go now?
Honestly, I didn't think that far ahead. I just couldn't let you become catnip.
I have a base I'm building with another bird friend. Why don't you come live there until you figure things out?
I'd be very grateful to stay with you both.
I led the way back to the lake house. By the way, I'm Zozo. What do I call you?
Awoo is the name.
Seems fitting. On days 23 to 26, we got back to the base. Taffy greeted us, and I introduced Awu to Taffy. I'll need to do some upgrades and add a room for you, Awu. It shouldn't take too long. I made sure to make the room nice and spacious for Awu. It was the best room in the house. I noticed I hadn't added to my statue in a while, so I got to work on that too. You know, I think I'll add my friends to this piece. I'd like to honor all my good friends and family. Just then, Awu came trotting up.
Wow, this is looking great. Everyone watching should subscribe so that they can see all the other cool stuff you'll make.
What do you mean, everyone who's watching? It's just us here.
They know who they are.
On days 27 to 31, I went out exploring to find new resources. I was pecking around when I heard someone who sounded very upset. I followed the voice and came upon a raccoon. Hello, is everyone okay?
No, everything is not okay. I've been kicked out of my house by a big old monster. He thinks he can just push me out of my home because he's mean and can destroy me super fast. Huh, nobody ain't got no respect these days.
I tried to calm the raccoon down and asked him to show me to his house. He walked away and showed me to his home. I approached the door and sure enough, there was a monster cooped up inside. The monster growled and told me to get lost before I became its next meal. Listen, this isn't your home. You really shouldn't take things that aren't—
Are you still talking? Be gone! Be gone or be eaten! Silly food talking back to a predator such as I? If I weren't so cozy in here and already eaten 3 meals today, why, I'd gobble you up in one bite. Scram, pests!
It was clear this rude guy wasn't going to listen to anything I had to say. I'd have to teach this guy some manners, and I had an idea. On days 32 to 35, I started digging near the raccoon's house. What we had here was a reverse Three Little Pigs situation. In this scenario, the big bad wolf is inside the house and I need to blow the house down. And to do that, I started to dig a tunnel deep down under the house until I found some lava pools. This was one pool I did not want to get my feathers wet in. Now that I knew where the lava was, I headed back out of the tunnel. The next part of my plan was to find some creepers. As I came out of the hole, I quickly found some. I'm just here for your gunpowder. Don't mind me. Now that I had gunpowder, I just needed one more thing: sand. I headed to the riverbed and gathered a bunch up. With the gunpowder and sand, I crafted some TNT. I think you might know where I'm going with this. I returned to the tunnel that I dug under the raccoon's house and ran down to the lava pools. I carefully set the TNT next to the lava and began setting a fuse up and out of the tunnel. Match, set, light. Everything was going according to plan. On days 36 to 39, I waddled up to the front door and called out to the monster. The door opened to reveal the grouchy foe. Hello again. I thought I'd let you know that you have a limited time offer to leave this house before I huff and puff and blow this house down.
And how do you suppose to do such a thing?
Easy. I have a brick of TNT nearby and a fuse that's ready for me to light.
TNT?
It's dynamite, and I'll win this fight. I would slither on out of here if I were you. This house isn't worth your life.
You talk too much, Duck. I yield to no one. Be gone!
Okay, but don't say I didn't warn you. I activated the fuse and down the signal went into the tunnel. I took cover. There was a giant explosion and the floor of the house gave way, sending the monster to his fiery grave. Yes, my plan worked. The raccoon was nearby and watched the whole thing.
Was your plan to destroy my entire house?
The raccoon was not exactly happy, despite the fact that the monster was gone. I felt bad. Maybe I had been a little intense with my plan.
Now how am I going to afford to rebuild my house?
Put it on my bill. That was a joke. I don't actually have any money, but what I do have is a really big lake house that would totally fit you. I have other friends staying there too. Why don't you come stay there with us? The raccoon grumbled but agreed. He was still a little sore about his house being blown to smithereens. I showed him the way to the lake house and we made our way there. On days 40 to 43, we arrived back to the lake house. The raccoon sure was a grouchy fellow, but something about him was endearing too, like an angry little elf. They're just adorable when they get mad. You can't help but smile when they yell at you. I showed the raccoon around and created him a raccoon-tastic space for his home. I went over to my statue creations. We had my duck family and Taffy. I loved how it was looking. It was only right to build a statue of the raccoon too. I started building the raccoon statue. Looking at all these family and friends in the statues made me think about another creature that had been so nice to me, Waymar the wise owl. I didn't want anything to happen to him. Maybe I'll go visit him and see if he would like to stay at the house. We are safer in numbers. I don't want him getting captured. On days 44 to 49, I returned to the tree where the owl lived. I found him sitting under the tree, but he didn't look so good. Mr. Waymar, are you okay?
Zozo, my dear boy. I was worried you might have been one of the henchmen. I'm fine. I'm just feeling a little under the weather. It's hard to get food and such these days. I can't fly, you see. I'm kind of stuck in this tree.
That was not good. I couldn't stand by and let Waymar suffer. I told Waymar that I wanted him to come live at the house with us and we would help take care of him. He was so grateful but didn't know how he would get there. I'll figure out something. I'll find a way to carry you there. I immediately thought of the mine carts in the mines. Oh, those would work great. I just needed a way to push it along. I headed back to the mine and started collecting the tracks for the cart. I would make a track from the owl's tree to the base. That should be enough. I took everything back to the owl and laid some tracks down and rebuilt the cart. Climb aboard. Once he was in, I pushed Waymar along in the cart, picking up the tracks as I went along and setting them ahead until I made it all the way back to the lake house. I was excited to build him a room in the house. My little misfit family was growing so much. Waymar was super grateful for the help. He couldn't believe he had us to care for him now. Ain't no thing but a chicken wing.
I'm an owl.
On days 50 to 53, I decided to go deeper in the mine to find some diamonds. I hadn't seen diamonds yet, but I was certain I'd run into some if I went a little farther in. As I went deeper, I ran into a big stinky toad. I smell something most foul, and it's not me. Aha! Care for a slice of my sword? I swung my sword while the toad tried hitting me with his tongue. He was no match for me though, and I quickly took him out. I went a little farther and ran into some tarantulas too. Ooh, these guys creep me out. I made quick work of them, swinging my sword as hard as I could. They too were soon gone. That's when at long last, I had found the diamonds. I mined them up as quickly as I could and then headed back home to make them into things. I made a strong pair of armor and some super strong weapons. As they say, diamond weapons hurt forever. I definitely felt I had a better chance of kicking bad guy booty with these upgrades. I just needed to figure out where my family was being held. As I was crafting, one of my friends told me Waymar needed to see me, so I went to his room. Hey, Waymar the Wise, you wanted to see me?
Oh, Zozo, I have loved being here. I feel so much happier. I hate to seem ungrateful for asking you anything, so you know what? Never mind. It was silly anyways.
No, please, I want to help. I'm happy to do anything. Anything at all.
Well, okay, if you insist. I have the most overwhelming craving for a tropical fish. I loved eating it when I was younger. My siblings and I would devour them when we were in the nest together. Oh, how I miss those days.
Sure, that's no trouble at all. I'll go right away. Waymar was so excited to hear I would help him. I started on my quest immediately. On days 54 to 57, I finally reached the water. There was a perfect spot for catching tropical fish. Now, if I was a gorilla or hogland, I might have trouble getting this fish, but I was a duck, so I was in luck. I paddled out into the water and dove after the fish. Okay, this is a little trickier than I thought. I spotted a school of fish and started swinging my sword. Eventually, I got one. I kept swinging until I had gotten a few more. Well, now to simply swim back to the shore with no problem. Ah! Somebody bit my tail feathers. It was a shark. I was under attack. Actually, I was more over attack as the shark was below me. Oh, you like picking on smaller fish, do ya?
Wait a second, don't you eat smaller fish too?
Well, yeah, but that one was supposed to be mine. Now scram! I fought the shark. It was tough, but eventually I won thanks to my upgrades. Oh, check me out. I'm growing. I'm a much bigger duck now. I had leveled up. Finally! Hey, maybe I can fly now. I thought a happy thought, took off running, and started flapping my wings. I zoomed into the air. This was amazing. I can fly. I can fly. I can fly! On days 58 to 62, I arrived back in the base with the fish. As I climbed into the base, I saw that Waymar was even worse off. Oh no, Waymar, you don't look so good. Here, I brought you your favorite fish. This should help.
Thank you, Zozo. I don't have the energy to eat it just yet. Let me just put it here. I remember when Mother would return home with the fish back in 1932, just as you just did. She liked them lightly pan-fried and put a dollop of cranberry sauce on the side.
Waymar? Waymar? Waymar suddenly passed away with a smile on his face. I wondered if I had gotten him the fish sooner, if I would have saved him. But I was also glad he took his final breath, knowing he was cared for and not alone. He was going to be very missed. On days 63 to 66, I was moping around the base. I felt so sad, and that was okay. I just needed to let out my feelings and be upset. I went over to the statues and had a good sob while I added another one to the bunch. I wanted to honor Waymar's memory by adding him to the group. The statue made me feel better, and I could smile again. There was my wise friend Waymar staring back at me. This place was becoming a whole museum full of statues. It was beautiful. On day 67 to 70, Awu came up to tell me that they had found something.
It's a note from Waymar. You're going to want to read this.
I took the note and read it. Zozo, check out the old fort east of here. Your family might be there. And remember, things aren't always what they seem. Just because you can't hear or see something doesn't mean it isn't working. Believe in yourself and your plans. What was that supposed to mean? It was a nice sentiment, but I feel like it was some kind of coded message. I'd try to remember that. Well, Awu, looks like I need to follow these clues. Can you help keep watch over the lake house while I'm gone? Awu was up for the task. In the morning, I would take my leave. On day 71 to 74, I went in search of the hidden prison in the tundra. As I traveled across the snowy forest, I spied a fort hiding in the mountains. Is that it? I saw that the fort was active and that there were guards that looked just like the ones from the farm. They were carrying large shipments of feathers out of the fort. This place must be a prison where the other ducks and birds are being held captive. They are harvesting their feathers. My blood boiled. I didn't waste another moment. I drew my diamond weapons, and with my diamond armor, I charged in. I started swinging my sword with all my mighty duck strength. Those guards didn't stand a chance. I couldn't believe how easily I blew through them all. Feel the wrath of my revenge. I made my way into the prison, cutting down anyone who stood in my way. I was feeling like I could take on anything at this point. On days 75 to 78, I reached a room that looked important. I barged in unafraid and saw the tiger that had almost destroyed me back at the farm. I felt a tinge of fear creep back into me. Did I have what it took to go up against him? Regardless, what choice did I have now? My family could be in this very room. I shook off my fear and went head to head with the cat. Or clawed a sword, rather. This tiger was still tough. I got lots of good hits in, but he was so strong. It wasn't doing that much damage. He was good at blocking, too. He even scratched me a few times. And I saw tons of birds in cages. Maybe my family wasn't here. As we fought, I noticed a big lever. It looked important. I took a chance and hit it hard. All of a sudden, the cage door swung open. The birds were free. The tiger was in shock at his sudden misfortune. What's the matter? Cat got your tongue? Some of the birds started to attack him. While he was distracted by all of the birds flying out of their cages, I was able to attack his weak spot. He was done for. The tiger was no more. I looked around the room and saw my baby duck siblings. They were so excited to see me and couldn't believe how much I had grown. I was so relieved to see them. And where's Mama Duck? The ducks look sad.
Mama got taken by the big bad dog to his mansion. The other birds say that it's on some sort of volcano.
That seems like a bad place to build a mansion. This dog isn't as smart as I thought. Don't worry, little ducklings. I will rescue Mama. On days 79 to 84, I spent some time searching the room where I had originally found the tiger. You never know what kind of information you can find, and this tiger was clearly a leader of this operation. He had all sorts of confidential information laying around, and if nothing else, I could take his valuables. He didn't have any use for them now that he was toast. I looked all around and found a treasure chest. Bingo! I opened it up and found a map. I looked closer. Well, what'll you know? A map right to the volcano mansion. And what else do we have here? I saw that there was a whistle in there too. I blew it, but nothing happened. Why he kept a broken whistle, I'll never know, but I'll just keep it, just in case. With the room fully inspected, I went back to the ducklings. Alright you guys, let's get the quack out of here. I built you a home that's super secure. Let's go. I saw some of the birds that had helped in the fight against the tiger. They looked unsure of where to go and what to do. I invited them back to the lake house with us. They were very grateful and agreed to come with us. We waddled as fast as we could back to the base. On days 85 to 89, I returned safely home with all my ducklings in a row. I immediately started expanding the house and made more rooms for all of the birds. They loved their new living quarters. Sure beats a small cage. Awu and Taffy had something exciting to show me while I was away.
We built something very enchanting.
They had found items to make an enchanting table and had what we needed to enchant my armor. Wow, thank you! This is incredible! If I wanted to rescue Mama Duck, I needed to be as ready as possible for going up against Big Dog. This would give me a fighting chance. On days 90 to 94, I walked over to my field of statues. They were almost all done. I just needed to finish building the rest of Waymar's statue. I was so excited to reveal all of my statues to my friends. As I looked at Waymar's statue, I thought about the strange note he had given me.
Just because you can't hear or see something doesn't mean it isn't working.
You know, that gives me an idea about something. I put the finishing touches on the statues and it was finally finished. A field of all my favorite friends. What a sight! On days 95 to 97, I knew it was time to go rescue my mom. I followed the map to the mansion on the volcano. This place was spooky. I could see the appeal of building a mansion on the volcano now. That is, if you're an evil villain, it's perfect for that vibe. I had to admit, I felt a bit scared, and that was okay. That didn't mean I was going to run away. No, I was saving my mother, come dogs or lava. I brandished my weapons and started fighting my way through the guard dogs along the path to the door. On day 98, I was exploring the mansion when I went into a room with a strange-looking bunny man inside of it. What the? Who are you? Who am I? Who are you? Oh wait, I'm you! You're me! Yeah, you're me from my bunny video! Oh yeah, that was an awesome adventure. When everyone is done watching this video, they should go check that one out. Amazing. Well, I've got a family to save. See ya! On day 99, I made it into Big Dog's lair inside of the spooky mansion. After defeating tons of guards, I felt something funny happening. I was leveling up. This is just what I needed. I needed to be a mighty duck to defeat a massive dog. I'm as strong as I can get now. I was super buff. I was going to give Big Dog some trouble with my new strength. He's going to have to answer to this firecracker. It was time for the ultimate smackdown. I looked around the room and saw Mother Duck in a cage. Mom!
Zozo, what are you doing here?
I'd like to ask you the same question, troublesome quacker. Looks like you haven't learned your lesson. And you've been hitting the gym, I see. Like that's gonna help you.
I'm here to take my mother home.
Can't you see me and your mom are madly in love with each other? Trying to split us up, are you?
I'm not in love with you, you freak!
You will be if I keep you locked up long enough. It's called Stockholm Syndrome, love. Look it up. Works in the fairy tales all the time.
Dude, you've got some serious issues. This is no way to treat someone you like or love. That's no way to treat anyone. What a weirdo. This dog needed to be put out of his misery. I drew my weapon and attacked Big Dog. I gave him everything I had. Every bit of strength I could muster went into every hit. But he was still too strong. I was barely making a dent. Compared to him, I was like a yappy chihuahua. My blows were just not dealing enough damage. Maybe he was right. Maybe I couldn't defeat him. Had I come all this way just to fail? Then I remembered the broken whistle in the chest.
Just because you can't hear or see something doesn't mean it isn't working.
I pulled out the whistle and blew it. Nothing. But that's how it was supposed to work. It was a dog whistle. Only dogs can hear it. Big Dog stopped attacking and sat politely. Good boy. Now play dead. Big Dog's armor came flying off of him.
Don't look.
Big Dog was completely hairless. Big Dog explained that he wanted all the feathers to cover his naked self. There is nothing wrong with being hairless, and I'm sure many of us would have donated feathers to you, but you chose to ruin people's lives over this. I have had enough with your silly excuses. You aren't going to cage up anyone ever again. With that, I gladiator kicked him out of his window and down into the river of lava. On day 100, I let my mom out of the cage and we went back to the lake house. The ducklings were so excited to see their mother. We all had a wonderful reunion. I introduced everyone to my new family. Everyone couldn't stop raving about all the crazy adventures we'd had and how great the lake house was. We were going to live happily ever after. No more living in cages, just freedom and family. On day 1, I spawned in as a lava wither. Wow, I'm so little, and I only have 4 hearts. I can still hover in the air a bit though, and can I? Yes, I can throw flaming wither skulls. Awesome. They don't seem very powerful though. It looked like I was in a town of some sort. All of a sudden, I was attacked by some villagers. One of them threw shears at me. How rude, but I'm keeping the shears. Hey, I know I threw some wither skulls, but I didn't hit anyone. I wasn't doing anything to you. I hurried and flew away, slowly. I wasn't very fast yet. Man, that was mean, but I can't afford to fight right now. I found a little cave and managed to find a corner that seemed safe. Tomorrow, I'll gather some supplies. And with that, I fell asleep. On day 2, I woke up feeling refreshed. I better get some supplies so I can build a shelter for myself. I actually liked the cave I was living in, so I decided to stay there. I chopped down some trees, and as I hit them, I saw that the trees were catching on fire. Oh, whoops! Smokey the Bear is going to be so mad at me. I'd have to be careful about what I touched, since it seems like I was pretty hot, literally. I had enough wood to make some tools for myself though. They were simple, but they did the trick. Then I almost made myself a nice little nook in the cave, but the pickaxe broke. I went to craft some stone tools, and while crafting, the crafting table set on fire. Oh man, I'll have to figure out a solution to this. I noticed that my hunger bar was getting a little low, but I didn't really know what withers like to eat. I guess I would have to go out and try a few things. I flew around the forest and found some mushrooms and other berries. I tried them, but it seemed like withers didn't like mushrooms. Blech, looks like no fungi for this wither. I continued on and saw some animals. Maybe I would like some eggs or chicken. Sorry guys, I ate the raw chicken, but I didn't like that either, and it barely refilled my hunger bar. I explored some more, but it started to get dark, so I decided to head home for the night. I'll try looking for some other food tomorrow. Maybe a nice salad? On day 3, I went looking around for some plants and grass. I went for the grass, but it only dropped seeds. Then I had the idea to use the shears on it, and voila, I got some dried grass. I decided to eat some dried grass, and finally it refilled my hunger a decent amount. Weird, but whatever does the trick, I guess. As I was eating, I thought I saw something moving behind a tree. Hello? I didn't hear anything, so I assumed I was alone. I kept eating my dry grass. I went exploring and realized that I was on an island. The water was so clear and beautiful, I wanted to touch it. I reached out, and it hurt me. I don't think I like water anymore. I mean, I'm literally made of lava, so it makes sense. I made sure to gather up some grass for later. I flew away from the shore. I decided to explore closer to the center of the island. There were lots of trees and bushes. There seemed to be a mountain in the middle of the island. Wait, no, it was a volcano. Oh, wow. I flew a little closer to the lower part of the volcano and realized there was some lava inside. Ooh, that feels nice. All of a sudden, some lava spewed up at me, hitting me out of the air. Ouch! I quickly flew away and headed back to my cave for the night. On days 4 to 5, I left the cave to go exploring some more. I realized later that someone was following me. I wasn't sure what it was, but I could see it darting away when I wasn't looking. I decided to hide behind some rocks and then pop out at it. It came around the rock, and I scared it. Ah! Ah! It was just a little butterfly. Hey, what are you doing following me?
I'm not.
Okay, sure. I kept going and waited again for the butterfly to come around the bend of a rock. You are following me. Admit it.
Fine, I am, but I need your help.
Me? What can I help with?
You need to keep the island from exploding.
What? The butterfly sighed and flew away anxiously.
The island has been shaking and there have been small lava explosions. The town wise woman said that the island is going to be destroyed with a huge explosion. It can be prevented by a hero.
Me?
The town summoned you and you came, but one villager and his family were opposed to the whole thing, and he's the one that attacked you.
Rude.
Right? Anyway, you're our only hope.
Why me?
I assume it's because you're made of lava?
That would make sense, but I have no idea how to do that. I need to talk to the village wise woman.
Agreed.
The butterfly, who called herself Vanessa, led the way. On days 6 to 8, we arrived back at the village. We saw a few people around, but not many.
Those are the people who attacked you, Bruce and his son Bobby.
Vanessa pointed out some villagers outside with some pitchforks. They were arguing with some of the other villagers.
Here, I know how to get to the wise woman's house.
Vanessa led me around the back of some houses when we arrived at a home with a bell hanging outside. Nice.
I've been expecting you, young hero.
I flipped around to see a wise old woman with a basket of various dried grass on the table next to her.
I assume you are hungry.
Yes, thank you. She welcomed us in and she made Vanessa some tea.
You want to know how to defeat the volcano?
Well, I don't even believe that I can. I'm so small.
You can. You just have a few steps to take.
She brought out what looked like an orb.
I knew that the volcano would erupt someday. The villagers turned to me to help, and I gave them a solution, but some would not listen. They will seek you out to hurt you. They believe you are evil and have ill intent.
Why would they think I'm evil?
Some withers are, but that is a choice, young friend. You choose your path. And for the sake of our island, I hope you choose wisely.
The orb suddenly started to glow, and I saw a figure inside. It looked like me, but bigger and stronger.
You can gain the ability to control the lava and tame the volcano, but it will take time. You will need to complete tasks in order to become the hero we so desperately need.
What do I need to do?
Only you will be able to know. The volcano will speak to you.
Speak to me? Interesting. It had gotten late, so the woman invited us to spend the night. On days 9 to 10, Vanessa and I woke up and went outside to collect some food from the old woman. Before we left, the wise woman said that in the vision, she also saw our struggles with setting things on fire. That's when she tossed out a cobblestone crafting table. Just what we need, thanks. Vanessa started to fly away.
I need to take care of some things, but you should go see what Bobby, one of the villagers, is doing.
I went ahead, and that's when I noticed a villager, who I assumed was Bobby, was outside among the other townsfolk. He looked angry. Then all of a sudden, he jabbed his pitchfork at an innocent villager.
Defend them.
Where did that voice come from? I decided to listen to it. Hey, leave them alone! I dashed over to help the villager and stop Bobby.
Get back, you devil! We don't want you here!
Bobby tried to stab at me, but I moved out of the way. I'm not here to hurt you. I'm here to save the island. Just please stop hurting people. Bobby looked surprised.
You're not going to eat us?
Ew, gross. I mean, no, why would I do that? Bobby looked shocked and he lowered his pitchfork.
My father has been telling everyone that withers are evil and can never be trusted. They feed on the souls of men.
Well, I definitely don't. I just like grass. Bobby seemed confused, but also relieved. He looked at me and nodded.
I will follow you, Tiny Wither. I know that I had my doubts, but you seem like you really care about our people and our island.
And I did. I knew they were just trying to make their way in the world like me. We could all live together in harmony. Just then, Bobby's father, Bruce, ran out of the house with a pitchfork. He ran towards me, but Bobby blocked him.
Dad, don't hurt him. He's just trying to help.
Get out of the way, boy. You don't know what you're talking about.
Then Bruce jabbed his pitchfork at Bobby.
Defend them.
Hey, leave them alone.
I spun towards Bruce, pushing him away. As I did, I threw one of my tiny little flaming wither skulls at him. It wasn't much, but it did a little bit of damage. It also gave him some wither effect.
You see, he's an evil creature. He will only cause pain and misery wherever he goes.
I am not evil. The only evil here is you. And with that, threw another flaming wither skull. It didn't take Bruce out, but it did bring him down.
Stop him. Make sure he doesn't hurt our friend again.
Bobby smiled at me and chained Bruce up, took his pitchforks, and took him off to the jail.
I'll come for you, Wither. You won't succeed in your evil plan.
Bobby came back over as Vanessa flew back as well.
Thank you,
Zozo.
Zozo. Thank you, Zozo. You are a welcome friend.
All of a sudden, I felt a power surge through me, and I leveled up into a slightly bigger wither. I had more hearts, and my flaming wither skull seemed more powerful too. Then I heard the ethereal voice again.
Well done, Zozo.
I looked around, but I didn't see where it came from.
Wow, neat.
Vanessa flew around me and did a little happy dance? I don't know, but it looked fun.
Wow, that was amazing.
Thanks. Now let's see what my new wither skulls can do. I launched some skulls and saw that they did more damage than before. There was more room to grow, but this was definitely a good start. I felt amazing. I also felt a warmth in my heart. I think the voice I heard was the volcano calling to me. I defended the people, and it was happy. On days 11 to 12, Bobby helped me build a house in the village. Well, it was more like a nice cave in the side of a rock, since I would burn wood if I touched it. We figured that I should stay close. Vanessa flew in and saw that I was making a new home, and informed me that while she was gone before, she had decorated my old cave. And now that I was building a new place to live, she was sad I wouldn't be using her improvements. I told her not to worry, as I planned on bringing everything she had done in the old base to this new one. She seemed to like that and did her little happy dance. As I made my way to the cave, I noticed some spiders outside of it. They weren't too much of a threat, and I took them out easily. Easy peasy. I ate a bit of grass while looking at the new entrance of the cave, and one of the small spiders jumped up behind me and tried to bite me. I took it out with one hit. I went in and gathered my things, but before I could grab all of them, a huge spider dropped down from the ceiling. Aw, gross!
Who you calling gross, you three-headed freak?
Hey, that's not very nice. The spider lunged at me and I dodged around him. I was able to use my fireballs, but he kept getting hits in. I didn't think I could defeat him, but I managed to take him down. Phew, that was close. I guess I wasn't as strong as I thought. I still had a long ways to go before confronting the volcano. I gathered the rest of my things and headed back to the village. On days 13 to 15, I made my way back to my new cave. On the way, I noticed a small alcove and decided to mine out some materials. I found some cobblestone, iron, clay, blackstone, diorite, and of course, some flowers. Perfect, I can make these into better tools and armor. I can also use them to upgrade my base. I made my way back to the village with my new materials, excited about what I had found. When I got back, some of the houses were on fire. Vanessa flew up to me.
Zozo, the volcano erupted. It was just a small one, but some fireballs fell down from the sky and burned up some houses.
I looked around and knew I needed help. Bobby threw an empty bucket at me, and I hurried to the ocean to help take out the fire with the water bucket. Since I wasn't touching the water directly, I was fine and didn't get hurt. I asked Bobby to come with me, and we mined out some more stone. We needed to fireproof the houses, just in case. We helped the villagers make some improvements to their homes so they wouldn't catch fire again. It was hard work, but we all felt a little safer afterwards. Except I didn't get why the volcano was telling me to do things and then attacking people. There had to be some sort of explanation. While I thought about that, I decided to finish up my cave home by adding all of the things I had gotten from my old base. I also used some of the materials I had mined earlier, and last of all, I smelted down the iron so that I could craft some better tools and armor. On days 16 to 19, I woke up to the voice again.
Be strong for them.
I didn't know exactly what that meant, but I needed to find out. I went to the wise woman again and told her that the volcano had spoken to me. I also told her I didn't understand why it would attack the villagers.
To answer that question, you must talk to Bruce.
Bruce? The guy that tried to hurt me?
Precisely.
I didn't understand why, but I'm sure I would figure it out.
Subscribe.
Subscribe? Well, I guess if the volcano said it, then it's pretty important. I made my way out of the house into the jail cell where Bruce was being kept. I need to talk to you, Bruce.
Never.
He spit at me. Why do you hate me so much? He ignored me. I guess I could try again later. I headed out and went to find Bobby and Vanessa. I told them all about the volcano speaking to me and about Bruce. Bobby didn't seem surprised.
My dad doesn't really talk that much. It would take a miracle to find out what he knows.
Great, off to a strong start. I got back to my cave and made some better upgrades to my house. I even built Vanessa a little nook to stay in. She seemed to really like it.
Thanks, Zozo. You're awesome.
She really did know how to put a smile on my faces. On days 20 to 22, I woke up with that same voice in my head.
Be strong for them.
Can you at least tell me how? Silence. Great. I got up and decided to go out to the beachfront to look for some things and gather supplies. It was beautiful, but I had learned my lesson about water. Just then, a huge crab came out and tried to snatch me. Luckily, I was made of lava and I burnt him.
Ouch, that's rude. I wanted to eat you.
Trust me, you don't want to eat me. The crab looked at me, confused.
You're not a shrimp with 3 heads?
No, I'm a lava wither. Zozo, to be exact.
A lava wither? Haven't seen one of those since the last one was summoned.
Wait, there was another one? When? The crab clicked his claws for a minute and thought.
Probably like 40 years ago. Something like that. That was a small thing then.
This was new information. Thanks, you've been a big help.
I would say thanks to you, but you're not a shrimp, so I'm even hungrier.
And with that, the crab skittered away. What a weird guy. We had almost forgotten why we came to the beach, but then remembered and picked up some more sand. On days 23 to 26, I headed back to the village and started smelting the sand. Vanessa and Bobby came to say good morning. I told Bobby and Vanessa about what I learned from the crab.
Another wither was summoned? I wonder why nobody ever mentioned it.
Yeah, I wonder. I decided to talk to the wise woman again. She would have been around then, so she must know something. I confronted her and she sighed.
I had hoped that Bruce would have told you, but I suppose I must.
She grabbed her orb again and I saw images flash across it.
About 40 years ago, 2 young men in the village decided to play with magic. They had read about withers and decided that they wanted to summon one. They grabbed the items required from a weird magical room. They went about it correctly, but there are always risks. Once the wither was summoned, using magma blocks and wither skulls, it befriended the 2 young men. They kept it secret for a long time, but the wither wanted to be free. The boys promised that they would let him go, but they never did. The wither grew bitter and despised humans, especially the ones who had summoned him. One day, he managed to break free from its bonds. There was an argument between the 3, but the wither had had enough. He attacked the village and the 2 young men.
Let me guess.
Bruce was one of those young men. The other died trying to save Bruce's life. His name was Marcus.
So what happened to the wither?
It laid the village to ruins, destroying most, and then escaped, taking captivity in the volcano. It grew over time and now inhabits it. It seeks revenge on all humans, but it's been biding its time.
So it's not the volcano that is attacking people, it's the wither living inside. The old woman nodded.
But the spirit of the volcano has been battling with it for many years. It has grown weak, nearly on the brink of collapse. That is why we need you, Zozo. You must restore the volcano and defeat the wither corrupting it.
That was a lot to process. This wither had been growing for over 40 years. How could a small wither like me stand against something so powerful? On days 27 to 31, I woke up and knew where I needed to go. I went to Bruce and told him what I had learned. He looked tired today, not as angry.
I know what I did was wrong. I messed with power that I had no right to use. I wanted something special, and I treated it like garbage. It's all my fault that this is happening, but I can't fix it.
He seemed so sad, but I knew what I needed to say. That's why I'm here. I will protect you. All of you. Bruce looked at me and he smiled.
I owe you my life, Zozo. Thank you.
I unlocked the gate and let Bruce out of the jail. He couldn't embrace me, so he bowed a little bit instead.
I will follow you, little wither. You are our strength.
Just then, I felt another surge of power, and I leveled up into a bigger wither. I was now adult size. I felt that calm again, and then I heard the voice.
Well done, Zozo.
I was on the right path. Now, I just needed to prepare. On days 32 to 35, I tested out my new abilities. I could shoot bigger fireballs and could even fly faster. Bobby heard the explosion and came to take a look at what was happening. He was impressed. Bobby gave some materials and helped to set up an obstacle course with some targets to train with. We had to keep some water on hand though, so I wouldn't burn up all the trees.
Careful, Zozo!
I'm trying, I just have no idea what to expect. I'll be fighting another wither, and I'm not even sure what tricks he has up his sleeve. Just then, I saw Bruce. He came over and decided to help me out too. He showed me how to do the crawling exercise. I was too big for it, so I just flew over the obstacle. Bruce was not impressed. He then showed me how to aim my shots with some target practice. I think I'm getting the hang of it. I had hit the target, but Bruce suddenly drew his bow at me. He started shooting, and I successfully dodged some arrows, but some hit me. When he stopped, he told me he was trying to teach me how to dodge. You could have given me a heads up first, but hey, thanks for your help.
No problem, Zozo. Anything for you.
Anything?
Within reason.
Good to know. He smiled and we all headed back to the village for some food. When we got there was a commotion at the center square. What's going on?
A small eruption came up out of the ground and swallowed a house.
We looked and indeed, there was a large spot where the house should have been. Instead, there was a pool of lava. Was anyone inside?
No, thank goodness, but it's not safe here.
The villagers all argued until Bruce hushed them.
We will take care of this. We will fortify the village and take precautions.
The villagers seemed a little at ease, but still scared. I was going to give it my all to protect these people. I just needed to know what to do next. On days 36 to 39, I waited for the voice of the volcano to guide me. There wasn't anything, and I felt a little bit frustrated. Why aren't you talking to me? Nothing. I decided that I would just wait, patiently, or at least try to. Bruce and I helped to further fortify the village. He threw us some materials, and we made some cobblestone walls. As we were doing so, Bruce brought up another idea.
Hey Zozo, we want to build a statue in your honor. Also, as a reminder of hope. Do you have anything in mind?
I thought for a minute and then told Bruce what I would like. He smiled.
That sounds perfect.
We gathered the needed supplies and started to clear a spot for the statue. We built part of the base and hoped to get it all done in a few days. Can you tell what it is? On days 40 to 43, we went out to explore the island. I guess I had some other things I needed to do before the volcano would speak to me again. We went looking around the volcano when something caught my eye. It was a large cave. I went in and saw that there were some diamonds. I quickly mined them all up along with some other materials. With this, I can make some diamond armor. Neat! I noticed some lava running through a part of the tunnel and wondered if that's how the houses were being swallowed up. I tried to create some barriers just in case. It felt so nice and warm, I decided to take a break and enjoy the lava. Just then, I felt something grab me from behind. I managed to squirm around and saw a giant squid was dragging me into the water. I wasn't burning him because his tentacles were wet, so I was helpless. Oh no! He swam into the water, pulling me with him. When I touched the water, I solidified and was basically useless. I tried to gurgle to make him stop, but he kept swimming further and further down. I saw my hearts dropping and thought this was the end. Just then, the squid released me into an alcove. Out of the water, I transformed back into a lava wither. My warm heart was enough to melt the stone back into lava. Hey, there you go, friend. I have saved you. Saved me? You almost destroyed me. The squid looked confused. Wait, you're not Lily? No, who's Lily?
My daughter!
I looked around and saw some axolotls coming up to me.
That's not her, Paul. You need to stop snatching people.
I looked at the axolotl and she looked at me. There was absolutely no resemblance.
Sorry about Paul. He is Lily's friend and she disappeared a few days ago. We think she might have been kidnapped by the other clan of axolotls. They live nearby, but their keep is protected by a shark.
Well, it sounds like you need help. I'll go look for her and bring her back to you.
Really? Wow, that is so kind of you. Here, you will probably need this.
The axolotl gave me a diving suit. I guess that solved the problem of me not being able to go into the water. Off onto another adventure. On days 44 to 49, Paul guided us close to the rival axolotl clan. He suddenly stopped and told us he saw the blue axolotl somewhere around here one time, but not sure exactly where. We thanked him anyway. I was close to the surface and took a look to see where I was. I recognized the area. I was next to the dry grass field. This was a great opportunity to use the diamonds I got, so I crafted a diamond sword, pickaxe, and shovel. That's when the crafting table caught on fire. Ah, not this again. The bench broke before we could craft all of the diamonds. Darn it. Well, at least I got some tools. Better than nothing, I guess. That's when I noticed a nice-looking lagoon. Inside of it, I spotted a cave. It seemed empty, so I made my way underwater to take a look. Inside the cave, I thought I could see the axolotls hiding in there. Just then, I was attacked by a shark. Hey, I'm just trying to save Lily. The shark didn't respond. He kept attacking me. Luckily, I had crafted a new sword, so I was able to take him out pretty quickly. I swam up to the cave and emerged from the water onto a dry area. The axolotls looked terrified of me. I just want to take Lily back home. One larger blue axolotl moved forward.
Lily is where she belongs. She loves me and wants to stay here.
I didn't see Lily anywhere, so I really didn't trust this guy. Then I heard a voice.
Help! I'm in here!
That must have been Lily. Her own choice, huh? The blue axolotl jumped at me and attacked. The other axolotls backed away, clearly frightened. I was able to take down the leader quickly, and the other axolotls thanked me.
Thank you, stranger. We've been captive to Blake for far too long. He wouldn't let us out and he kidnapped Lily as a way to start a war with the pink axolotls.
Why?
He was obsessed with Lily for months and wanted to marry her, but she said no. Then a few days ago, he captured her.
Well, you're all safe now. I went around the corner and found Lily trapped in a cave. I freed her and we all left the lagoon. I knew what I had to do. On days 50 to 53, I went back to the alcove of the pink axolotls with the blue axolotls and explained the situation. They made a truce and Lily's mom was more than happy to have her daughter home.
We owe you a great debt, Zozo. Take this as a token of our gratitude.
Then Lily's mom gave me a huge stash of diamonds. Wow, thank you!
Of course, if what I heard is true, you are embarking on a great quest to save our island. You will need it more than we do.
I thanked them again and then started the long journey back home. On days 54 to 57, I heard the voice of the volcano speak to me.
Sacrifice for them.
Sacrifice? I could do that. I just needed to figure out how. I quickly made myself an armor stand and hung my diving suit up. As I got to town, I noticed that the wise woman was outside looking at the sky.
Welcome back, Zozo. You have been gone for a long while.
I got mistaken for an axolotl and ended up saving the kidnapped daughter and joining the clans together.
Yes, as I expected.
I looked at her. She was still looking at the sky. She was an odd one, she was.
Another 2 houses have collapsed while you've been gone. We did our best, but the Wither grows angry. He is nearly on the brink of taking over the volcano.
I was really worried. Maybe the villagers could leave the island and find refuge somewhere else. I suggested it to the wise woman.
We don't run away from our problems, Zozo.
Not run away, just stay somewhere else.
We are safer here with you.
I turned and saw Bruce and Bobby approaching me. Are you sure?
Yes, young friend. All will be well soon enough.
We all looked at the sky together for a minute. Then Bobby leaned over and whispered to me.
What are we looking at?
We slowly backed away as the wise woman continued to look at the sky. We went and gathered some more supplies so we could continue to work on the statue. It was basically done, we just needed a few finishing touches. We also built some new houses and made sure that the foundations were solid. We also built them over the water in hopes that the other Wither would be less likely to attack them. The Wither would try to take us down, but we would prevail. On days 58 to 62, I woke up to Vanessa flying around nervously. What's wrong, Vanessa?
I think there's a storm coming, Zozo. Look!
I looked outside and sure enough, it started to rain. I guess I could try to walk around in my diving suit, but it would definitely make me slower. I don't think I should go outside.
I can't either. One raindrop could really hurt me badly.
I hadn't thought about that, but it made sense that Vanessa was pretty fragile. Her wings were paper thin. It's okay though, we can have a day in. We can play a game. Vanessa flew around me excitedly. We ended up playing some games, and she shared stories of her family. Where are they now?
I'm not sure exactly. They all migrated when I was still little. My wing was hurt, so I couldn't go with them.
That made me really sad. So they abandoned you? Vanessa landed. Her wings drooped a little bit. It's okay, Vanessa. I won't abandon you. I promise. Her wings lifted a little bit, and she fluttered around again.
Thanks, Zozo. You're a good friend.
Sacrifice for them.
I sighed. I'm trying. Bobby and Bruce eventually came over looking for us. We explained the situation, and they helped build a little overhang so we could travel to and from the village safely. I was really grateful and made some food for everyone. A little while later, I took the diamonds I had been given and made myself some nicer armor. Wow, this stuff was amazing. I could take on anything with this. On days 63 to 66, I went out to go test my new armor. I went out to the jungle area where I hadn't been before. Maybe I could find some more food items. I was getting a little bit low on dried grass and only had 5 peas left. Vanessa had told me about something called chocolate, and it didn't sound half bad. I would go looking for some cocoa beans. I was foraging through the trees when I entered a clearing. It looked like there was something written in the ground. It was that thing that the volcano had said to me. Be sure to listen to that little voice in your head telling you to subscribe. I started gathering some dried grass when all of a sudden I heard some loud screaming. I didn't see anyone around me, but then I realized it was coming from the sky. The volcano was spewing fireballs. I hurried and dodged around them, but one hit me. It was small, but it was enough to knock me over. Apparently, these fireballs are extremely hot since they set me on fire. What is this magic? I'm not supposed to burn. Another fireball hit me. Ouch, stop that.
What's the matter? Can't take a little heat?
I looked around but didn't see anyone. It sounded like the voice of the volcano, but much harsher. Hello?
Small little wither, you are nothing, but I can make you great.
I assumed it was the wither inhabiting the volcano. I'm not listening to you.
Why not? We are, after all, brothers.
I'm not your brother. You are a bully, preying on the innocent.
Innocent. They captured me and kept me as a pet. I knew I was destined for more. I had my revenge with the power I possessed, but I am so much more now. The time will come when I obtain all the power of the volcano, and then I will truly have my revenge.
What they did was wrong, but they're sorry. You don't need to blow up the entire island because you're mad. The voice screamed and fireballs rained down around me. I tried to dodge, but I couldn't handle all of it. A fireball hit me and everything went black. On days 67 to 70, I woke up in darkness. After a minute, my body lit up the space and I realized I was buried. Oh, great, now I have to dig my way out. I started using my tools to chip away at the hardened lava. It took a few minutes, but I was finally able to free myself. The clearing I had been in was now just a large pool of lava. Good thing I was made of the stuff, otherwise I would have been trapped. I flew over the hot magma and started to make my way back to the village. If the wither had thrown this big of a tantrum here, I'm sure he did some damage to the village. When I arrived, nothing seemed out of the ordinary. I realized the wither must have used up all his strength trying to hurt me. I was relieved. Just then, I saw Bobby running up to meet me.
Zozo, come quick!
I followed after him into his house. What's wrong?
It's my dad. I can't find him anywhere.
I thought for a minute, then something dawned on me. He must have gone to talk with the wither in the volcano. That's the only thing I can think of. Bobby looked sick to his stomach.
He doesn't need to do that.
He probably feels responsible, but don't worry, Bobby. I'll go find him. I hurried and flew back to my cave to gather some supplies. On my way out, I noticed Bobby was waiting for me with a pack on his back.
I'm coming with you.
It's too dangerous, Bobby.
It's my dad. I have to do something.
He was right. I wouldn't want to stay behind either.
He will probably go back to where it all started, on the desolate side of the island.
Then that's where we'll go. On days 71 to 74, we went tromping through the island slowly. Bobby couldn't fly like me, but I wanted to keep a low profile anyways. We mostly traveled in the jungle and gathered food as we went. Hey, more cocoa beans. I totally forgot to make chocolate when I was in the village. I'll have to do that when I get back.
Sacrifice for them.
Sacrifice what? The cocoa beans? I think the volcano was losing it. We kept traveling and came upon a small pond. We made a small shelter and decided to stay there for the night. Bobby couldn't really sleep because he was so worried about his dad. It's okay, Bobby. We'll find him.
I sure hope so.
It was quiet for a while, but then out of nowhere came some more spiders. Ah, gross! Bobby helped me fight them off, and in no time they were all gone.
Now I really won't be able to sleep.
I'll keep watch, don't worry. Bobby nodded and then managed to eventually fall asleep. I hoped I could keep my promise to him. He really needed his dad, and I didn't want to see him lose him. On days 75 to 78, we kept trekking through the jungle. I could tell that Bobby was really tired, but he kept pushing through. We came to a large cliffside and realized that we needed to climb up it. We started to ascend, but then the island started to shake.
Zozo!
The island kept shaking, and then suddenly the cliffside split. Bobby fell halfway into the cliff and managed to hold onto a ledge. I looked down and noticed Bobby was barely holding on. I went to grab him, but remembered I would burn him.
Zozo, move!
I maneuvered around them and managed to get to the ledge. Then I mined some blocks and created a safe path for Bobby to get back to safety.
Wow, that was intense.
You're telling me. We waited for a minute, just in case there was another earthquake.
I hope the villagers are okay.
I'm sure it's fine. I wasn't too sure, but I had to be hopeful.
I need a break and some water.
I nodded and let him rest for a bit. We decided to make camp and I made a small shelter. We set up a fire and Bobby was able to fall asleep right away. Having a near-death experience will do that to you. On day 79 to 84, we trekked further down the side of the volcano. We finally made it to the bottom, and just as expected, there was a barren wasteland. Everything was dried up and dusty. Bobby looked around in awe.
This is
Empty?
sad.
I nodded in agreement. So much destruction and pain. It needed to be healed and restored to the way it once was. We started to make our way through, but then Bobby was attacked by some snakes.
Ouch!
He stabbed them with his pitchfork, but more were getting bites in. Hey, stop it! I threw fireballs at them and managed to take them out, but Bobby looked pretty bad. You okay, buddy?
I think I've been poisoned. I need some medicine. It's in my bag.
He managed to grab some and take it. The wilderness is not kind to you, my friend. Bobby laughed.
No, it is not. After this, I'm never leaving home again.
His laugh got quiet.
I wonder how my dad is doing with all of this.
You're weak. I'll go get you some food.
Where?
I looked around. Touché. Instead, I located a large dead branch and severed part of it off. I gave it to Bobby to use as a crutch.
Thanks.
We slowly but surely made our way further into the wasteland. On days 85 to 89, Bobby and I arrived at what looked like the remnants of a village. Some of the stones were still there, but there wasn't much.
This must be it. My dad has got to be close by.
Bobby threw down his crutch and went scrambling around the ruins. I went looking around but didn't see much. Then I noticed something shining across the land. I flew toward it and saw a metal-looking container buried in the ground. I unearthed it and discovered it was a cage. Bobby came up beside me.
Is that...
It's where I kept it.
We both flipped around to see Bruce emerging from a small hole in the ground. It was partially hidden by a rock, which is why we didn't notice it in the first place. Bruce approached us and touched the side of the cage.
It's where I kept Aiden, the other wither.
Bruce seemed really upset and he started to cry.
I've made so many mistakes. All of this is my fault. I need to fix what I broke.
Not like this, Dad. Don't sacrifice yourself. You only give him what he wants.
Bruce didn't say much else, but we followed him into a small cave. We stayed there for a while to rest up while I devised a plan. On days 90 to 94, I woke up to Bobby yelling at Bruce.
It's not your responsibility.
Yes, it is. Don't try to stop me, Bobby. I'm doing this for you. For all of you.
What about Zozo? He promised he would help us, and he will.
I can't let someone innocent pay for my mistakes. Not anymore.
Sacrifice for them.
I knew what I needed to do. Bruce went back to his room in a huff, and I came up to Bobby. I know what I have to do. Just promise that you won't follow me, and make sure your dad stays here.
Is this goodbye, Zozo?
No, I'll be back. Don't you worry. Bobby nodded and then went up to the opening of his dad's room. We lured Bruce towards the cage, telling him that we found something interesting in there. When Bruce wasn't looking, we pulled him inside the cage and locked the door. He looked stunned. This is for your own good, Bruce. Don't follow me. He sat there and begged me.
Please, Zozo.
It's okay, Bruce. It's what I'm supposed to do. On days 95 to 97, I continued flying toward the volcano. It spewed lava here and there, but I dodged past it. When I was a good distance away, I stopped and hovered. Aiden, I've come to talk to you. The voice I heard before let out an ugly scream and spewed more lava at me.
You dare to call me what that monster named me?
I'm here to take his place, Aiden. I know you hate him, but he needs to live. Take me instead. I saw the lava spew out further, almost hitting me.
Why would you sacrifice yourself for such measly humans?
Because it's the right thing to do. The voice laughed.
Oh, this will be fun.
I moved closer to the volcano to see if I could spot Aiden. Suddenly, the volcano reached out and snatched me, pulling me into its burning embrace. Everything went black. On day 98, I woke up inside the lava. I heard the voice of the volcano.
Well done, Zozo.
I felt a powerful surge run through me, and I burst from the ground into the air. I leveled up into a full-sized wither. But then I felt a different kind of power. It was much bigger and stronger than me. I realized I could control the volcano. I focused my energy and forced Aiden to fly out. He was out of the volcano, but the fight wasn't over. He was as big as I was, probably stronger. But what choice did I have? I flew toward him, spewing lava and shooting witherheads. He fired witherheads back at me, but at long last, one of my wither skulls knocked Aiden down. On day 99, I approached Aiden. He looked like a normal wither like me, but he shook with anger.
How dare you! That was my home!
You have no right to use all that power for evil. This ends here, Aiden. I commanded the lava to burst up and around him and solidify to his body, caging him in. He was stuck, and he knew it.
Let me go! I have to make them pay! They're all evil and can't change. They don't deserve to live.
You're wrong, Aiden. And with that, I slashed at Aiden and defeated him.
Thank you, my friend. You have proven yourself worthy of my power.
The volcano spoke to my mind, and I felt a stronger connection with it. I was now its guardian, if I stayed worthy of it. It felt right. On day 100, I freed Bruce and told him the good news. He followed me and Bobby back to the village, where we all lived happily and safely. The people celebrated, and I finally made some chocolate chip cookies. We also finished the last part of the statue, and it looked awesome. Everything was right on the island. Finally. On day 1, I woke up in a basket, floating down a river. Whoa, where am I? Who am I? The basket washed up on the edge of the river, and I hopped onto the shore. That's when I noticed I had a cane in my hand. I took a closer look. The cane of Moses, a reminder of his parents. I'm Moses, but I'm just a baby with 3 hearts. At least my parents gave me this cool cane that doesn't seem to have any special powers. I wonder where they are. Just then, I heard a splash in the water behind me, and a crocodile came jumping out of the water. Ah, I gotta go. A giant crocodile like that could eat a baby like me in one bite. As I ran into the desert, I soon climbed a hill, finding a small village on the other side. A village? I'll bet there's someone here who can help me find my parents. As I ran into the village, I noticed there didn't seem to be anyone around. Hello? Anyone? Can anyone hear me? Hello? I had run through the whole village, but nobody was here. Another mystery to solve. It was soon getting late, so I decided that I'd spend the night here. Maybe I could find out what was going on tomorrow. On day 2, I woke up to the silence of the abandoned village. If I'm gonna find out where everyone went, I need to be prepared. The house I was in needed some repairs, so I headed over to the trees to get myself some wood. Using the wood I had gathered, I made myself a stone pickaxe as well as some wood slabs. Then I used the wood slabs to fill in the roof. Next up, more tools. I headed over to a nearby hill and used my pickaxe to gather limestone that could be used to make limestone tools. As I was mining though, a husk suddenly appeared at the top of the hill. Oh no, I don't have any weapons yet. I hurried and put together a crafting table, then used that to craft a limestone sword. I turned around just in time. The husk and I had a fearsome battle, and he brought me down to half a heart. Armed with my sword though, I was able to deliver the final blow. That's what you get for trying to mess with me. It was at that moment that I realized I didn't have any food. I had seen a wheat field earlier, so I built myself a bridge across the river so I could go to it. I was pretty sure I couldn't swim. I was just a baby after all. With my stomach growling, I quickly started harvesting as much wheat as I could. Suddenly, I heard something rustling in the wheat behind me and turned to see a hippo. Ah, oh wait, you're just a baby, like me. What's your name? Just then, I heard a terrifying sound and turned to see an adult hippo looking right at me.
Get away from my little brother!
He looked angry, and I still only had half of a heart. I had to get out of there. I ran back across my bridge, breaking a couple blocks behind me. Once I had gotten away, I hurried and made myself some bread. Bread has never tasted so good. Later that evening, I heard a sound outside my window. When I looked outside, the baby hippo from before was out there.
Hey, I'm sorry to bug you, but I wanted to apologize for earlier. My brother Hugo was kind of intense.
I hopped down the side of the building. That's okay. He really scared me. You seem nice though.
I try to be. My name is Harry. Here, I brought you some fish to say sorry. I'll see you around.
I thanked him for the fish and quickly got them cooking in the furnace so they could be ready for the next day. Then I used some of my remaining limestone to finish making a set of limestone tools. On day 3, I woke up in the middle of the night to the sound of footsteps. The villagers, they must be back. I hurried down the ladder to greet them when I was suddenly swarmed by a group of husks. Oh no, I forgot to fix the door. The husks tried to surround me as I ran out of the house. I could fight one of them off, but it wasn't looking like I could handle a whole group of them. Just as all hope was lost, Hugo came charging in to help. In no time, he managed to fight off all of the husks. Wow, you saved me. Thank you.
No problem. Harry told me he stopped by and said you were a nice guy. Sorry for scaring you earlier.
That's okay. Those husks should have been more scared. Feel free to stop by anytime. After Hugo had left, I suddenly felt more strength returning to my limbs, and I grew into a teenager. And now I have 7 hearts. The next day, I was walking around the edge of town when I saw someone taking a look at the basket I had spawned in. Just then, the crocodile that had attacked me showed up again, catching her off guard. Hang on, I'll help you. I ran over to her and started fighting off the crocodile. With my new strength, I was much better suited for this fight. I kept swinging my sword and was able to take him out.
Wow, nice moves. I thought I was a goner for sure.
I'm happy to help. Say, I was hoping you might be able to help me with something. The village over there is completely empty. Do you know what happened to everyone?
Oh, yes, the people that used to live here. They're gone.
Yeah, do you know where?
Yeah, I do. They moved.
Oh, really? All of them? Something bad must have happened.
No, not bad. They all live in the city now. My dad is actually the pharaoh there. Speaking of, you should come live in the city. It's really not safe out here.
I agreed, and she showed me the way. I was getting tired of being attacked by crocodiles and husks every day. On days 4 to 5, the princess and I arrived at the big city. The princess, whose name was Nubia, showed me around. Wow, this city is huge. It must have taken a long time for you guys to build everything. Nubia simply nodded as we walked closer to the palace. She was taking me to meet the pharaoh. As I entered the throne room, I could see the pharaoh sitting on his throne.
Nubia, welcome home. And who do we have here?
Father, I wanted you to meet Zozo. I was attacked by a crocodile, and he saved me when I thought all hope was lost.
Nubia, what have I told you about wandering along the river? Thank goodness young Zozo was here to save you. Zozo, I am in your debt. Please, let me settle it by giving you a place to stay here in our prosperous city.
Wow, that would be amazing. This is a beautiful city.
I will give you one of our finest rooms. You can live next door to my son. Ramses, come say hello to our new friend.
Ramses came running over with 2 servants behind him.
I heard you saved my sister. Nice going. Although don't get too comfortable
uncomfortable. She's always needing someone to bail her out. Nubia rolled her eyes as the pharaoh led us out to a balcony overlooking the city.
This city is my pride and joy. As our newest citizen, I just want to make sure you understand its history. Many years ago, I was born to rule and lead these people. If not for me, this place would be a disaster. So anyone who lives here should be happy and grateful to be here.
I nodded, but man, this guy really seemed full of himself. But I did appreciate having a place to stay. I couldn't wait to meet all the happy people in the kingdom.
Nubia, please, show Zozo around the city so he can see everything I've accomplished. Ramses, you join them. Go on.
Ramses, Nubia, and I left the palace, and they began to show me around. There were some really amazing things to see. There were monuments, statues, and lots of buildings. This was some of the best building I had ever seen. Wow, I can't believe your dad was able to build all of this. That's really impressive.
Well, he didn't actually build it himself. The people from the desert villages built a lot of it.
Yeah, but if Dad wouldn't have given them direction and a place to live, they would have been miserable. They're much happier here. We continued the tour, but I started to notice that most of the people didn't seem to look very happy. In fact, I thought all of them looked like they were hungry. I wasn't so sure about all of this. At the end of the day, Ramses showed me to my room. It was a lot nicer than the rooms of the people we had passed. He told me to get some rest, as tomorrow there was a special show scheduled that he thought I'd enjoy. I headed over to the bed and laid down for the night. On day 6 through 8, I followed Nubia and Ramses out of the palace and to the city coliseum. Ramses seemed pretty excited about the special show we were going to. We soon reached the VIP booth where the pharaoh was already seated. You can take my seat, Zozo. I like to get close to the action. As I sat, I noticed that Nubia didn't seem very happy to be here, but she didn't say anything. Just then, a door in the arena opened and a gladiator came walking into the arena as the crowd cheered. Were we about to watch some kind of fight? Then the door on the opposite side opened and a giant hippo entered the arena. Is that Hugo? Hugo was chained to a post and the gladiator started to attack him. The crowd began to cheer. What is he doing? He's going to hurt him.
Yes, my boy, that is the point. That's our strongest warrior down there, giving us all a little entertainment after a long week's work.
But it's not even a fair fight. Hugo's chained to the post. He can barely fight back.
Hugo, don't tell me you've named the beast.
He's no beast. He's my friend. I'm sorry, but I have to do this. I thought I saw Nubia give me a small grin as I jumped down into the arena. I ran up to the gladiator and hit him with my sword.
What the? Where did this keep come from?
My hit had managed to distract the gladiator for just a second, which let Hugo start to get some hits in. With the gladiator distracted, I quickly broke the post he was chained to, then jumped on his back.
Enough!
Several pillars rose up from the ground as the pharaoh rose from his seat.
Zozo, we opened our homes to you out of the kindness of our hearts, and this is how you repay us? If you won't accept us, then we can never accept you. Leave now, or my gladiator will destroy you. You are hereby banished.
This hippo is my friend. I can't support someone who would hurt him for their own entertainment. I'm sorry. I turned and rode out of the city on Hugo's back. How was I going to survive now? On days 9 through 10, I was wandering in the desert. Hugo had told me to stay with him, but I couldn't risk putting him in danger, so I continued on alone. But I couldn't feel too bad for myself, as I was suddenly attacked by a pack of hyenas. I'm definitely not in the city anymore. Get back, you fiends! The hyenas snapped at me, but I managed to hit them enough to keep them all away from me. I better hurry and find some place to set up camp. It's starting to get hot out here. Lucky for me, I soon came across some old ruins. There are all kinds of cool structures here. As I walked through the ruins, I also saw there was an oasis nearby. Oh man, this is just what I needed. This oasis was a beautiful spot to build a camp to live in, so I got right to work building myself a house. It wasn't anything big or fancy, but it was just right for me. I soon finished. Well, I might as well check out some of these ruins while I'm here. I hiked into some of the nearby ruins and started looking through the dusty crates. There were some basic food and resources, but the real gem was the golden desert armor. I kept looking through the crates and was able to find an entire set. This is great. I'm already starting to feel safer. I hiked back to my camp when I heard some sheep nearby. I gathered them up and put them in a pen. These sheep give me an idea. I found a nice plot in the desert and started working on a statue. I think this is going to look really cool out here. I'd love to hear what you think it's going to be. After a bit, part 1 of the statue was complete. On days 11 through 12, I woke up to something interesting outside my door. It was a note. Hello, I saw you come to the old ruin down below. I saw you build with such passion and enthusiasm. You show great promise. I would like to meet you. Come to the location marked on the map. It is in the mountains near here. This could be a trap set by the pharaoh, but I think it's worth the risk. They might be able to help me. With the map in hand, I made my way out into the desert. I had to climb a large hill, but as I reached the top, I saw a torch outside a cave. Inside the cave was an old man.
Zozo, I'm so happy you've come.
Hi, who are you?
I used to be the leader of the desert people, but the pharaoh came and forced them to work for him. He says everyone is happy, but that's because anyone who says otherwise is never seen again.
I knew something was off. I could tell the people in the city weren't as happy as he said they were. Are you going to save them? The old man smiled.
In a way, but that work will be done through you.
Me? How could someone like me ever defeat a powerful pharaoh?
He is powerful, but he relies too much on his own strength. There are other ways we can defeat him.
What do you mean?
That city is his greatest source of pride. If we can destroy destroy his city, not only will he fall apart, but the people of the city can rise up and escape. That city is nothing without the work of the people. It will be up to you to make things bad for him. I should also mention that there is a powerful item buried in this cave. You're not ready for it yet, but I know one day you will be.
I'll do my best. I think I know where to get started. I thanked the old man and headed out of the cave. It was time to head back to the city. On days 13 to 15, I crossed the desert back toward the city. The city soon came into view, and I started stacking my way to the top of the city. If I was going to cause some disruptions, I needed to get a closer look at what was around. I ran along the top of the city and looked over the edge. That's when I noticed there was a water supply running through the center of the city. If I could disrupt the water supply, that would definitely cause some problems for the pharaoh. But I can't cut it off. That would hurt innocent people. Just then, I had the perfect idea, but I needed to head back to the river. I ran back across the city top and headed to the river. Soon, I had reached the riverside, and I could see flowers on the other side.
Need a ride?
Hugo, perfect timing. I was just wondering how I would get across. I soon reached the other side and started gathering up as many roses and poppies as I could. I was going to need them for my special project. Once I had finished collecting as many as I could, I met Hugo back down by the river.
Hey, I found this health regeneration necklace at the bottom of the river. I thought you might be interested in it.
Hugo tossed out the necklace, which I picked up and equipped. He then let me hop on his back and gave me a ride back across the river. Time to get back to the base and start working on my secret plan. On day 16 to 19, I got right to work building a mill. I had a big project in mind, so I was going to need a tool to help me get all of the work done quick. The mill was soon complete, and I got right to work, adding all of the flowers I had gathered the day before to the machine. It didn't take too long, but I soon had a large amount of red dye. This ought to be enough dye. It's all coming together. Just then, I heard a sound outside and went to check out the noise. There was a group of tomb raiders outside. They must be here to raid the ruins. They caught sight of me and charged. I'm not a bad guy. Back off. The raiders were strong and nearly took all of my health. They had some good gear. I wonder if they found all of this in the old tombs. Thankfully, though, I was able to overcome their sword swings and take them all out. As they disappeared, I noticed that they dropped some iron bars. Iron! This will help me be even stronger than before. Guess I'm glad they came here after all. Just then, I felt more strength surge through me, and I grew into an adult. And check it out, I even have a beard. Oh, and more hearts, too. I headed over to the crafting table, and by using the iron I'd picked up, made myself some new iron gear. If anything went wrong on my secret mission tomorrow, I would be ready for a fight. Then I went over to the statue and got to work on the second part. It might look like I'm finishing it, but I have a whole other part to do. Be sure to keep watching to see what it is. On days 20 to 22, I snuck my way back over to the city, ready to put my plan into action. But first, I had to make it there, as I was suddenly attacked by a group of wraiths. Ah, you guys are freaky! With my new iron gear, though, they were going to have a hard time taking me out. I swung my sword and was able to destroy all of them. That was scary, but I've got a mission to complete. Soon, I was making my way through the city streets. There were a lot of guards wandering around, but if I was sneaky, I could weave through the buildings. I had to get to the water supply. I almost got caught, but finally, I made it to the source of the water.
Halt!
Uh-oh, looks like I've got company. A small group of guards attacked. There were a lot of them, but I had to see this through. They hit me again and again, nearly taking all of my health. I can't let them win. I must save the people of this city. I rose up and started swinging even stronger than before. I was starting to win. There was only one guy left, but he managed to get away. I better hurry. I'm sure there will be more guards coming soon. I ran back over to the water supply and started throwing the dye into the water. If I could turn the water red, people might start blaming the pharaoh for their lack of clean water. It took a little while for the change to take effect, but soon the water had all turned red.
What do you think you're doing?
I looked down and saw the guard had returned with the gladiator from the arena. I wasn't going to be able to run away this time.
Who do you think you are, coming back here? And what happened to the water? What have you done?
The pharaoh is no hero. He's forcing people to work for him. It's not right. He needs to let these people go.
No one's gonna ruin our city, especially a little desert man like you.
The gladiator attacked. This was their city's strongest warrior. This was going to be quite the fight. He had a massive sword that really packed a punch. It doesn't have to be like this. Surely you can see that the pharaoh is evil.
My life seems pretty good. Too bad yours is over.
My health was nearly gone, but I had to keep fighting for these people. I kept moving and was finally able to land the final hit. As the gladiator disappeared, he dropped his sword. A claymore, huh? This thing is huge, but it's as light as a feather. I took a look at the guard, and he took off running again. What a wimp. I took a look at the water again. Well, I'm surely going to get the pharaoh's attention now. Just then, I heard a bunch of feet running. A whole battalion of guards were running right at me. That's my cue. Time to go. I jumped over the wall, and the guards ran up and looked down at me. Now I just need to wait and see how the pharaoh responds to my mission. On days 23 to 26, I was still making my way across the desert. Up ahead, I could see some orange rocks. Oh, I could use those for the next stage of the statue. I ran over and got to work mining them out. I've got a cool idea for what I could add to the statue. I think everyone will really like it. As I finished mining, I noticed there was a cave nearby. Maybe there are resources inside I could use. I made my way down into the cave and soon came across some iron ore. Perfect, this is just what I was looking for. I kept going deeper into the cave cave, mining more resources. Suddenly, the room opened up, and there was a massive subscribe on the wall. Oh wow, thank you to everyone who has already subscribed. I'm having a lot of fun, and I hope you are too. If you haven't subbed yet, I'd love to have you join the team. On days 27 to 31, I was out of the cave and heading back to my base. As I was crossing the desert, I saw a bunch of camels escaping from their caravan. Hang on, I'll help you. The camels went running off behind a small dune, and I followed them to the other side. I soon saw that the animals had gathered at a nearby oasis. Hey guys, you were just a little thirsty, weren't you? Suddenly, the camels ran away, and a giant crab came walking out of the water. Whoa, where the heck did you come from? The crab snapped at me with his pincers as I swung my sword. His hard shell was difficult to crack, but not too hard for my new sword. The crab was quickly defeated. Phew, now let's get these camels back to their rightful owner. I led the camels back to the grateful trader.
Thank you, sir. Say, are you the one who changed the city water red? I'm glad someone is standing up to the pharaoh. I have a lot of good friends trapped in that city. I passed by there and the pharaoh was pretty mad.
Oh yeah? I'm glad to hear it worked. Hopefully it'll make the people angry enough to rise up against him.
Well, everyone is upset and he's mad, but he's made it even harder for everyone. He's also doubled security around the city. I'm afraid it didn't do what you were hoping.
Oh no, I'll have to figure something else out.
I know just the thing.
The trader headed over to one of his chests, then returned and placed a strange box in front of me.
Here, you can have this. Think of it as a thank you for rescuing my camels.
The trader opened the box and a bunch of frogs jumped out. I didn't see how a box full of frogs, which now had no frogs in it, was going to be any help, but I didn't want to be rude as he was clearly excited to give it to me. Wow, that is so cool. Thanks. I invited the trader to come stay at my base with me to sell his wares. The city wouldn't be safe for him if people knew he had helped me. He agreed, but needed to take care of some things first. I picked the box up and headed back to my base. What could I do next to stop the pharaoh? On days 32 to 35, I returned back to my base. I wasn't sure what to do next yet, but figured it would be a good time to empty my pockets and start smelting the iron I'd collected. With the iron ingots, I then crafted a full set of desert iron armor, as well as a new set of iron tools. I had also gotten a few diamonds in the cave earlier, so I used those to make myself a new diamond pick. Whatever my next step is, I'll be ready for a fight. Just then, I heard the sound of a camel outside and met the trader as he rode up. Hey, glad you could make it. I was thinking about it, and I think it'll be a good idea if we build you a shop. Maybe people are scared to leave the city because they have nowhere else to go.
That is a brilliant idea. I just picked up some fresh items, so I have plenty of things to sell.
I quickly got to work building the trader a shop. If I couldn't free all the people from the city, at the very least I could give the ones who do escape a place to live. The shop was soon finished. Once the trader had settled in, I walked up to see what he had to sell. Hey, I hope you're all settled in. I was hoping you might have some kind of special item that could help me get back at the pharaoh. The trader gave me a confused look.
What do you mean? I thought you would be able to do something with the frog box.
Oh yeah, I mean it was really cool when you showed me it was full of frogs, but since they all had hopped away, I don't really know what to do with it now.
I see. I may not have explained it very well. You see, it's an infinite frog box. Every time you open it, more frogs will come out. You will never run out of frogs.
Man, this guy was really into frogs. But just then, inspiration struck. I had a new idea to get back to the pharaoh, but I was gonna need some help from some old friends. On days 36 to 39, I had arrived back at the river where I met up with Hugo and some of his pals. Hugo, I had a question for you. I recently got this box that can create infinite frogs, and I know just what to do with it. The problem is, I don't have a good way to get into the city now that it has increased security. Do you know a good way in? Before Hugo could answer though, the small bird on his back piped up.
Oh, I know just the thing. Hang on one second.
The little bird flew off. Where could he be going? Moments later, he returned with a much bigger bird.
This is my friend. We're all sick of the pharaoh capturing all of our bird friends and keeping them in cages.
The big bird explained that he could pick me up and carry me over the city, which would let me shake the box, dropping frogs through the whole city. That's a perfect plan. Meet me at the mountaintop near my base tomorrow morning. We've got some frogs to drop. On days 40 to 43, the big bird met me on top of the mountain. I hopped on his back, and we flew away toward the city. As we got closer, I could see all the new guards defending it. Let's see them defend against this. As we flew over the city, I started dropping frogs. Down below, I could see the city had started to wake up, with a few people roaming around the streets. As the frogs landed, I could hear screams as people began to panic. It looks like the plan is working. By the time I had finished dropping the frogs, the sun had fully risen, and the whole city could see something was wrong. I was too busy looking down at the people when I accidentally slipped and fell off the bird, landing in the water below. Uh-oh, that wasn't part of the plan. I hopped up as a couple of townspeople ran over to me.
Zozo, these frogs are disgusting, but we're so glad you're here. The pharaoh is so mean. We want to help, but don't have anywhere to go.
Just then, I heard a shout. The guards were coming. Stay behind me. I have a safe place we can go. We ran for the exit as a group of guards charged at us. Looks like I'm gonna have to fight my way out of this one. The guards were intense, but I was able to cut them down and keep pushing for the exit. Soon enough, we had fought our way out of the city and ran to the desert. I wonder if the frogs would be enough for the pharaoh to let the people go. On days 44 to 49, I arrived back at the base with all of the villagers. We went to have a chat with the trader.
My goodness, Zozo, look at all of these customers. People. I'm so happy they were able to escape.
So am I. They're here to join our cause. Hopefully we can help everyone else escape too. But in the meantime, let's start building a place for you all to stay. Out behind my house, I got to work making a space for all of the villagers to build their homes. Once the area was prepped, they helped me to build their houses. We had a real town coming together. Soon, all the houses were done. Good job, everyone. This place is looking really great. I can't wait to get more people to move in. With all of the villagers moved in, I was feeling inspired to add the next part of the statue. With a little bit of help, I was able to finish the first part of the next section. Any guesses what I'm building next? After I was finished, the villagers came up to me with a real problem. If people were going to live here, we needed a way for everyone to eat. That's a good point. I think it's a good chance for us to strike back at the pharaoh too. I think we should go back to the city and bring all of their livestock here. That food should belong to you. The villagers agreed. The city would surely fall without a food source. This is a great idea, but I'm sure the pharaoh is going to have increased security. How am I going to be strong enough to get in this time?
Zozo, who are you talking to? I think the heat might be getting to you, but I did find something in the ruins. It might help with your problem. Follow me.
On days 50 to 53, the trader led me to the tomb entrance. He explained that the tomb seemed untouched, but he was too scared to go inside. Well, I'll go take a look. Hopefully we can find something helpful. I ran inside. Right ahead of me was a book on a pedestal, so I opened it up. Yeah, this book isn't very helpful. If I can't even read the book, how am I ever gonna get into this place? Wait a second, what's that? Just behind me was a button. I hit the button and heard a secret panel in the wall open. I headed through and entered a massive room. This must have been a pharaoh's tomb.
Who dares enter my tomb? If you can defeat my guardians, then perhaps I will share my secret power with you.
Suddenly, a bunch of gas appeared and started to attack me. Ooh, scary. But that secret power sounds just like what I need. The gas were not very happy to see me and kept shooting fireballs. Unlucky for them though, I was able to hop around and hit the fireballs right back at them. As I destroyed them, I saw that they were dropping gunpowder. Gunpowder! That gives me an idea for the next time we go to the city. I kept fighting until finally all of the gas were defeated. I picked up the gunpowder and took a look around the room. I soon saw a passageway which led me deeper into the tomb.
You may have defeated my gas, but I am not finished with you yet.
Just then, I ran into a jackal, and boy was this guy strong. Those spears are way too OP. I was able to use my shield to block, but just a few hits from the jackal would take me out. I managed to eat some food and heal up, then began to fight back. It was a close one, but I was able to win the fight. I kept going through the tomb when I saw a small tunnel up ahead. Suddenly, I fell down a hole, landing in a small pool of water.
What? How did you get this far? Well, you won't like this.
Just then, a bunch of blazes spawned in and started to attack. One of them even managed to catch me on fire. The fire definitely didn't feel good, but luckily, they weren't as strong as they looked. I was able to defeat them pretty quickly. There was a staircase nearby, so I followed that. I had to be close. Just then, I entered another room and saw the mummified pharaoh appear. I made it! I'll take that secret power, please.
You know, I thought about it, and I decided I want to keep it. Shazam!
A bunch of mummies spawned and attacked me. They were slow, but strong. But I had made it this far, and nothing was going to stop me. The mummies were soon destroyed.
Okay, I guess I'll just do this myself.
The pharaoh hopped down and started to attack me too. You know, we don't have to fight. You can just give me the prize.
Do you have any idea how bored I am? At least this is something to do. Hi-ya!
Honestly, if this guy wasn't attacking me, we'd probably be friends. Soon enough, I had landed a bunch of blows, and he was nearly defeated.
Okay, I think you've proved your point. Go ahead and take the prize.
The mummy pharaoh disappeared. I hopped up and took a look inside of his tomb and found a totem of undying, a set of raw armor, and Horus's ascension. I quickly put on all of the armor and equipped the weapon. Just then, the power began to course through me, and I leveled up into a powerful, full-grown man. And check it out, my beard is legendary! Before leaving the tomb, I had to try out the new weapon. Outside the room, I ran into some more mummies. I hit them with the Horus's ascension, which sent them flying into the air. Looks like it's time to head back to the city and get those animals. On days 54 to 57, I emerged from the tomb, then returned back to my house to craft. At my crafting table, I put together some TNT. You know what they say, the best way out is always through. We're gonna blast our way right through the walls. I went to talk to the villagers, and a few of them agreed to come with me to help. We traveled across the desert and soon came to the farm on the edge of the city. I set up the TNT and set it off. Fire in the hole! The TNT blew a hole in the wall, and we ran into the farm. Alright, you guys start wrangling the animals, and I'll get us some hay. I ran into a nearby shelter and picked up a few hay bales. I ran back outside and handed them out to the villagers. With the hay in hand, they managed to round up all the animals and lead them away. Looks like they're gonna make it out. I might as well grab some more wheat before I leave. I quickly got to it, cutting up as much wheat as I could. I had just about finished gathering all of the wheat and seeds when a group of guards ran up, but look who was leading them. Ramses, what are you doing here?
Zozo, you're the man from the desert? I barely recognize you. I'm so happy to see you again.
You're not angry to see me? I thought you were here to attack me.
No, in fact, I've been trying to join you. All of us here have seen my father's power and influence fading. Please, let us join your community.
I couldn't believe my luck. Ramses had been so nice to me before, and I was happy to have him as part of our group. The more people we had, the better chance we had to free the rest of the villagers. On days 58 to 62, I was back at the base when one of the villagers pulled me aside. He was nervous about Ramses being there with a bunch of palace soldiers. Could we really trust him? Before I could answer, Ramses walked up with his guards.
Don't worry, friend. You don't have anything to worry about. If I didn't come with good intentions, I wouldn't tell you this. The pharaoh is actually putting together a large army and plans to attack.
If that's the case, then we need to get prepared. Please, if everyone could give me a hand, we can build everything we need.
Don't you think it'll be wiser just to leave things how they are? This is a nice community here. Attacking the pharaoh will only end in failure. I've seen how powerful this army is.
I think you lack faith, my friend. We won't rest until everyone has been freed. I'm positive we can find a way to win. Ramses didn't seem convinced, but he agreed and asked what we needed to do to get ready. First things first, we started to clear out some of the old ruins. This was going to be the perfect place to set up our farms. We had an army to feed, so we had to make sure we had a good farm. Next, we got to work building a barracks for all of the soldiers. This would give them a place to rest and get ready for the fight ahead. I was able to get plenty of help, so we were able to finish it pretty quickly. Then I met Ramses outside. Ramses, I know living in the desert is quite a transition for you. I can build you a special place if you'd like.
That is okay. I will live in a regular house like everyone else. However, I wouldn't mind helping you out with that statue.
Ramses then joined me as we worked on the next part of the statue. It was really starting to come along. As we worked, I mentioned that I would go speak with the old man in the cave to see if he had any ideas. When I mentioned the old man, Ramses asked to join me, to which I agreed. We would go in the morning. Soon, the next part of the statue was complete. On days 63 to 66, Ramsey and I headed up the mountain toward the cave. As we crossed the mountaintop, we ran into a bunch of spiders. What are these spiders doing all the way up here? Ramses and I sprang into action, fighting them off. Working together, we were able to defeat them in no time. It was nice having a good fighter to help out. As we approached the cave, I could hear the old man's voice calling out to me.
Zozo, you may enter, but only alone.
Sorry, Ramses. You'll have to wait out here. Ramses agreed, and I entered the cave.
I know why you've come. The pharaoh is gathering his armies, isn't he?
Yes, I was hoping you might be able to help us. I thought maybe that buried item you had mentioned before might be useful at a time like this.
In fact, there is a hidden item that can help, but it is not the one buried here. I will give you the directions to the cave.
The old man explained where I needed to go to find this item. Excited to have a special item for the fight, I was getting ready to leave.
But before you go, Zozo, I leave you with a warning. I know your community has grown, but are you sure everyone can be trusted?
I nodded, but I wasn't sure what he could mean. Maybe he was talking about Ramses, but he had done more than enough to prove he wanted to help. I would keep my eye out for any suspicious villagers. Outside the cave, I told Ramses all about the item and where we needed to go. He was just as excited as me, so we headed off to find the cave. On days 67 to 70, Ramses and I had entered the cave. Soon, we saw an interesting looking statue in the middle of the tunnel. I'm surprised someone took the time to build a statue deep down in a cave like this. Suddenly, the statue sprang to life and started to attack us. It's a good thing Ramses had come with me though, as together we were able to quickly defeat it. Nice one, Ramses. Let's keep going. We continued down the tunnel and eventually saw two more statues. We stood there for a moment waiting for them to come to life. Maybe these ones are just statues? I guess. Whoa! The statues had come to life and started to attack. There were two of them this time, which made it harder than before. But even then, we still managed to fight them both off. I wonder how much deeper we have to go. I mean, what's next? 3 statues? We continued until we saw a larger room. Inside was a huge statue, way bigger than the other ones. Well, I think it's clear what we have to do. Let's do this! Ramses and I got to work, attacking the big statue. His big arms landed some heavy blows as we jumped around, getting as many hits in as we could. We even had to run out of the room and hide to heal up. Thankfully though, we were able to get enough hits in, and the giant statue was destroyed. As he vanished, we saw something left in his place. This must be that special item the old man was talking about. With this, we'll be able to beat the pharaoh once and for all. Come on, Ramses, let's—
Sorry, Zozo.
Ramses hit me on the head, knocking me out. Before I blacked out completely, I saw him pick up the item. On day 71 to 74, I woke up to see that I was all alone. Oh, my head hurts. Ramses must have stolen the weapon and escaped. I've got to go make sure everyone is okay. I quickly ran out of the cave and headed straight to the old man. When I arrived, his cave was empty and all of his stuff was gone. Ramses must have beaten me here. What am I supposed to do now? Just then I remembered the buried item. I began digging around. Surely I could use whatever this mysterious item is now. I uncovered a chest and opened it to look inside. A note. You had the power with you the whole time. Use your power of hope, will, and the strength of your people to overcome any obstacle. It's just a motivational note? I don't need that. I need a weapon that can save everyone. Oh no, everyone! I ran over to the other side of the mountain and could see our town was in flames. Why would Ramses betray us like this? I should have listened to the villagers, the old man. They were right about him. I hurried and ran down the mountain to look for survivors. As I got closer, I could see several of the villagers, and the trader came running up to me.
Zozo, where have you been? Ramses returned to gather all his soldiers, and they all attacked.
I'm so sorry. Ramses knocked me out and took the special weapon we had found.
That must have been what he was using. He had some incredible abilities and had turned into a monster, but somehow we managed to push them out.
I've got to stop him before he can give the item to the pharaoh. I better get to the city quick.
That's the thing. I don't think he went to the city. There's a fort near here. I think you should go there to face him.
I thanked the trader for his help, then went into the desert. I sure hope I can get the item back. On days 75 to 78, I could see the fort in the distance. I couldn't waste any time trying to be sneaky this time. I was charging through the front. As I entered the fort, Ramses' soldiers tried to stop me. Good luck! You guys are all traitors! I ran through the base, using my main weapon to throw them high in the air. I felt like I was running through the base, flipping pancakes. You're gonna need a meal on this flight. One by one, I tossed the guards into the air and out of my way. At long last, I made it to the main tower and ran up the stairs. As I reached the top, Ramses was waiting for me. On days 79 to 84, I stood face to face with Ramses. He didn't look like a monster.
I don't want to do this, but I can't let you go any further. Your story ends here.
Ramses put on a battle helmet and attacked. Ramses, how could you betray me like this?
I never wanted to betray you. In fact, I wanted to save you. You can't face my father. He'll destroy you and all the people you're fighting for. I thought if I could take the special item, you'd give up the fight.
I can't stop fighting though, can I? Your father will never stop. And even if we can live in our village, there are still hundreds of people still being kept as his prisoners. Just give me the item and we can stop him together.
It's too late. I've already sent it to my father. Just surrender now, and we can be done with this.
I don't want to fight you, but I can't let these innocent people be captured. I'm sorry. Just then, I landed the final blow, defeating Ramses for good. In another life, maybe we could have been brothers. I hope one day we can meet again. I picked up the helmet he had dropped and put it on. It was a sad day, but it was time to save everyone. On days 85 to 89, I arrived back in the village and met up with the trader. I told him everything that had happened and that the pharaoh now had the special item. He encouraged me to keep fighting, but first, we needed to fix the village. We all got to work cleaning up the damage in the village. The soldiers had really hurt the buildings, but it wasn't anything we couldn't fix. It took a long time, but soon everything was back to normal. I then headed over to the statue and got to work finishing that up. Before I went to the city, everything needed to be properly put into place, just in case I didn't return. Soon, the statue was complete. Don't forget to subscribe so you can be the first to go on our adventures with us. On days 90 to 94, I decided to take a walk around the base. I wasn't sure what to do next. As I saw the villagers tending to their crops, I noticed the ditches they had dug to bring the water in. Suddenly, I had an idea. I hurried to tell all of the villagers my plan. With the villagers on board with my plan, I gathered up as much sand as I could. I was going to need a lot of it if this was going to work. I also went back to the pharaoh's tomb to find more gas and collect gunpowder. As a final step, I met back up with Hugo to ask for his help. He was pretty excited about what I had in store for the pharaoh and was happy to help. All his friends agreed to help too. Alright, everything should be in place. If Pharaoh better watch his back, I'm coming for him. On days 95 to 97, I made my way back to the city with Hugo and his pals. Everybody ready? Charge! I quickly put on my armor and we ran into the city. There were even more guards here than before, but they were no match for my gang of hippo pals and powerful items. The higher they go, the harder they fall. I flipped guards in the air as we made our way toward the palace. As we got closer, storm clouds began to roll in and lightning started striking the ground. It must be the pharaoh using the special item. We have to hurry. As we ran through the square, we told as many people as we could to flee to our desert base. The lightning strikes were getting really scary and hit some of the villagers. It even hit one of Hugo's pals. Luckily, he was able to shake it off and keep going. Soon, we were at the entrance to the palace grounds. On day 98, we entered the palace grounds and began fighting our way through. It felt like there was an endless stream of guards attacking us, but they couldn't handle the strength of me and my hippo team. Hugo, you know what to do. Wait here for me. I ran into the palace and managed to fight off the guards on the first floor. All that was left was to head upstairs and face the pharaoh.
Hey, hang on a second.
Nubia came running over to me. Nubia, what are you still doing here? Your father has become too dangerous.
I know. After you stood up to him in the arena, it inspired me to do the same. I had always felt like what he was doing was wrong, but it wasn't until then that I felt like I had the courage to say something. After I told him what I thought, he kept me trapped here in the palace. It wasn't until you stormed the palace today that my guards finally left me alone.
Wow, I'm sorry to hear things have been so bad for you, but hopefully we can bring an end to it soon. If I don't make it, the people of this desert will need a strong leader like you. Stay safe until this is over. Nubia nodded and ran off to hide. It was go time. I climbed the stairs and saw the pharaoh waiting for me.
So, you think having a beard makes you a man? Please, you're just the same little boy I banished into the desert.
Don't bring my beard into this. You must let my people go.
You can ruin my water and fill the streets with as many frogs as you want, but I will never let them be free.
Just then, the pharaoh stepped forward and activated the special item. There was a burst of fire, and he transformed into a giant Egyptian monster.
How do you like this?
I was surrounded by a ring of fire and was suddenly hit by a bunch of lightning. Oh, to be honest, I didn't really really like it. I couldn't wait any longer, so I ran forward and attacked. The pharaoh hit me back, which nearly ended me in one hit. Looks like it's time for plan B. I turned and ran down the stairs and out of the palace.
What's wrong? Too afraid to fight?
Hugo was waiting for me, and I hurried and jumped on his back as the pharaoh and his men chased after us. They were close to catching up, but we managed to stay ahead as we ran out of the city. Once we were out, Hugo really put on the speed, and we got far ahead. There was a dried riverbed, which we quickly ran across. As we reached the other side, I turned to see the pharaoh and his army stop on the other side. Don't try to follow me or recapture the people. If you do, I'll have no choice but to destroy you.
Destroy me? Destroy me? I don't think you're in any position to tell me what to do.
The pharaoh and his army entered the riverbed, but I was ready to do my secret plan. I turned and hit a nearby button. The sound of explosions could be heard in the distance. The villagers had put TNT by the dam, which was holding back the water.
No, it can't be!
The water came rushing in, covering the pharaoh and his army. It looks like the plan worked. There's no way he's going to be able to escape all of that. Just then, I heard a splash behind me, and the pharaoh came rising out of the water.
You may have destroyed my army, but I won't go down that easy.
The river was my last plan. How was I going to defeat him now? On day 99, the pharaoh stood on the riverbank, looking down at me.
Enough of these games. I won't have a little bearded man boy ruin everything I have worked so hard to build.
My mind was racing. What could I do? Just then, I remembered the note I found in the old man's cave. You had the power with you the whole time. It couldn't be that simple, could it? Suddenly, a burst of lightning hit me, destroying all of my armor.
What are you waiting for? I'm here to end this now.
I looked at the staff I had carried with me. The staff had been with me the whole time. Now that I was a grown man with new power, I gave the cane a shake. There was a burst of light, and I grew into a massive, super buff version of myself.
What? Where is this power coming from?
I felt amazing. I knew that I was going to be able to fulfill my destiny. Just then, a ring of fire appeared, and the pharaoh hit me with lightning. It was on. The pharaoh and I swung our weapons, doing our best to get hits in. He was strong, but so was I.
You may be bigger, but I still have my lightning.
The pharaoh kept trying to hit me with lightning, but with my new abilities, I was able to dodge it. I couldn't dodge it every time, but it was clear he was running out of ideas. It was time to end this. This one is for my people. I leapt into the air and struck the pharaoh, which caused him to begin exploding. Soon, he disappeared. With the pharaoh gone, I focused my energy and returned back to my normal size. It was time to return to my people. On day 100, the world was finally free of the pharaoh's influence. I traveled to the city to meet with Nubia, who is now the ruler of the city. She was a nice ruler who let the people live freely, whether in the city or not. And she always made sure everyone was paid for their hard work. Our small village continued to grow, and I remained with those who chose to live there. Peace had been restored, and everyone could freely live their lives.